Well, it's because Frosty disappeared. He dropped, so it kind of shuffles around.
Does it work?
Yes,
yes.
We hear you.
Okay. We're here.
Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. That's good.
Okay.
Beautiful, perfect.
Yeah.
Right,
hi, Frosty. How you doing, bud?
Hey, buddy.
See, bud.
Is this the monthly AT winner?
Yeah,
Or
the
like
MAT champion, the best chrono in the world.
Yeah. Ooh.
Back.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure Dovey better did.
Back to back. How long are you gonna keep that streak up? Are you gonna keep?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep adding backs. Okay?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, backs, huh?
Yeah.
We'll turn into a human centipede after
So
a while.
you know, just tell us a little bit about that journey, right? Like you've come a long way from daily AT participator all the way up to monthly.
Pro League.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. All right. Ooh.
I assume there's gonna be a lot of that this tea time.
Wow, dude, that was Roy, man. It's all Roy. Roy's a savage, man.
Frosty, I thought you were Ellie. What happened?
Ellie? Wait, what?
Weren't you Ellie for a while?
I played Ellie in one monthly. That was Go for. That was ESL.
Oh,
that was very long ago. Yeah.
That was a very long time ago. Okay, so
I'm a
you
Mesmer. Yes, I'm a Mesmer.
graduated to Mesmer. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
True
Fair enough.
Mesmer, man.
Now's the time to be Mesmer. It's true. I have not as much bad problems with Mesmer. Obviously, I'm in gold, so that doesn't mean much. But on my Firebrand, Firebrand can kind of deal with Mesmer. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Mesmer's kind of cancer for everything, but it's not so bad on Firebrand. I find.
Look, I mean, having multiple Mesmers can be cancer in a way, but it's like having more than one chrono, in my opinion, is actually bad. It's only good if the enemy team has a suboptimal comp. And I don't think chrono is actually as OP in competitive play as people say. Okay, so chrono is good at is replacing Scourge, basically being Scourge, right? And it has a lot of like CC potential, right, in that 2v2. So when they get +1 by a thief, you have a lot of kill potential. But when the enemy thief +1s you as a chrono, then like you're kind of fucked because your Firebrand's gonna die and you have no counter pressure. So you give up something to get something. It's not like chrono's that much better than something. Everybody just jumped on the hype train because everybody in queues are playing it, and obviously in queues it's cancer, really cancer.
But Frosty,
and
don't you play chrono?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And yeah, that's.
I sense some bias.
I think it's mostly what
Take
people
it as what you want.
what people don't like right now so much is the fact that it's Mesmer in general. I think people don't really like Mesmer. It's annoying. You have many illusions, many clones constantly. They're all going crazy. They're all respawning. They're all stealing conditions away from you continuously. It feels bad, man. It feels obnoxious to play against.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be nerfed, obviously. I'm not saying that, but I'm also like I don't think it's actually as cancer as people think. Like, say Team USA would think, okay, Chrono is really cancer. We need to play Chrono. They don't actually need to. They just need a Firebrand that's capable of kiting.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Damn, dude.
I think that's fair though. You could deal with Mesmer.
I think Scourge is pretty much like Mesmer might be a little bit stronger than Scourge right now, but I think there's a trade-off. I don't think it's as cancer. And even there was that one timer game in the Yugo. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Timer games may not be fun to look at, but that game was actually really close. So I don't know.
Yeah, and actually that's kind of another thing that's actually worth talking about a little bit is the fact that Chrono, what you can say what you like about Chrono, what it does do, it slows the games down a lot, right? It makes things go very slowly, and it's just not fun, you know. It's not as much fun. So that is another concern that's to be addressed, right? People are kind of, you know, it hails back to the days where you go on a point and then you can't really be removed from the point. We definitely saw that in the finals of the monthly AT, where in 55. 3-capped the French, and then the French couldn't decap the entire game, and then they lost the game.
The problem was there weren't enough chronos in that final.
There's
There are
only
only
5.
five.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
you know what? This is
No,
this
but
is
that's the thing, right?
this, yeah, exactly.
They
Yeah,
had-
this is why we need to talk. Yeah, Frosty's right. If you go back to the point where he says that it's not really that good, honestly, the fact that the French had 3 chronos made them just get fucked so hard
The
by
only reason
55.
we even had 2
Teapot, we
chronos
lost to
was
that.
because they had 3.
But we lost to them.
We should have
Now
played
you're just
better.
saying we're
then.
trash.
No, we should have played better. Should have
Teapot,
played
we're
better,
the
Ray.
best, all right? We're number 1.
Yeah.
All right? They DDoSed us.
We got DDoS, but yeah, we should have played better, and we should have won it. But I actually don't think 3 chronos is very good at all, especially not 3. I think 55 had 2.
Even 2 chronos is bad. It's just we ran 2 chronos because it countered their 3 chronos.
Do you think that maybe a way to nerf Chrono without taking away how good it feels is to, like, in some of the ways it blocks or in some of the ways it goes invulnerable, is to make it so that it doesn't contribute to capping points at that point?
I mean, then that would defeat the purpose of it, like replacing a surge. But I don't think I'm not against them nerfing Chrono at all. Like, I think Chrono should go away because of how much Phantasm spam it is. But it's just at the moment it's not as bad in the top scene as people perceive it as. And balance wise, I'm all up for like just deleting the whole spec. But it would be cool if it was like as it is right now, but with just less visual cancer, and maybe less so good.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that it's a very fair statement. I think people have a tendency to overreact to things, and say that it's worse than it actually is. And there's definitely some things that are a little bit ridiculous, but it's not like it just one-shots you or anything. I think it's a relatively fair class to play against, really. It's just a very good one. I don't think it's particularly unfair. Whereas like old Scourge was pretty fucking unfair, right? Like that was pretty unfair, but not so much anymore. And I don't think it's that bad. It is very annoying though. The thing about metagame, right, is that it's kind of like a train where everyone just jerks each other off, right? You know what I'm saying? As soon as everyone starts running it even more. And then goes, oh, look how busted this is. Look at these people running 3 chronos, dude. Look at them, you know. And then there's 2 chronos on the other team, so then everyone starts running it, and then it just gets even worse, you know. But and then there are some other problems, like stuff like chaos. Like the chaos trait line is, who would have thought it, dude? This is a consequence of the phantasm change, though, because now you know. Now you're just shattering like crazy the entire time, and you got permanent stability and 25 mites. It's good. So it means you can run Paladin and it just be almost unkillable. And you've got 25 might and permanent stability in every boon in the game. You're gonna start killing everyone. It's delicious. So there's some things in Mesmer that should probably be dealt with in all game modes. Honestly, you know, the Phantasm change also in PvE turned out. That made Chaos really, really overpowered in PvE as well, you know.
Yeah, maybe the Chaos line needs a looking at.
The Chaos line may be a bit of a problem.
I mean, it's also another problem with it is it's just too easy to play, right? Like you can just spam all your skills and do relatively well.
Yeah, I believe that's what you did in your guide, right? That was a good guide video.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? That guide was exposing the problem, yeah.
Yeah, it was exposing it. You can just pretty much press everything. They made it a little bit better because they nerfed the heal skill, so you can spam a little bit less.
Yeah, sure.
I tried following that guide. It was too difficult for me.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Oh.
I'm serious.
Yeah, it was difficult.
I need a more detailed guide.
Chrono, I mean, Naru in the chat has a fair point also. Yes, I'm a Chrono main right now. So I might be a little bit biased, but that's just from our point of view.
Well,
our team.
To be fair, you've also played Chrono for much longer than like when it wasn't as broken. So
Sure.
I wouldn't really, say that. I think you have a good enough understanding of the game as a whole to, talk about PvP, regardless of what class you play. I think part of the problem with Chrono though is it's I think it's actually stronger than Firebrand in regards to being a bunker, and I also think it deals more damage than Firebrand. And
as a solo,
as
yeah, absolutely.
It's very easy to play. It's very simple, and there's probably counters to it. In fact, I think there are counters to it. But I think the problem is that most people prefer to just play it than counter it, which is maybe an issue with people as a whole, as opposed to the class itself. But nonetheless, that's the case we have. And when you have, I think, a Chrono on each team coupled with a Firebrand, I think that leads to pretty boring matchups and pretty boring games. Roy's so salty. I'm not salty. I was kidding. What? But yeah, I mean that's the main reason I would be against seeing more Chronos, is just because I think it leads to pretty boring fights when.
So I take it in the monthly, you guys lost to Frosty's team.
No, we didn't fight.
No, you didn't fight against each other. Oh, okay, no. All right, okay. Did you guys not play a Chrono or a Mesmer in general?
We had a Mirage. We had Nico who was on. He was on Mirage and Chrono. He swapped between certain games.
Honestly, in the game we lost, I mean, it was versus 3 Chronos, but honestly, I'm not really salty at all.
No, I think we
the reason we lost was not because of the 3 Chronos.
No.
I don't. That's why I say it's not that unfair. I don't think it's that unfair. I think it's boring to play against. It was quite a tough match, to stay awake in. But
it could have kind of been because of the Chronos, because you might have not been able to play against them properly, in the way that you should have, when you could have been able to do that against a normal team comp. But that's not necessarily because it's busted, but because it's way different. It's also when you have the Chrono Firebrand on both teams, even just one Chrono, it's the matchup becomes much different than against Scourge, because what starts happening then is you don't kill in the team fight as much. You start trying to rotate around with the Firebrand. It's really weird. We just didn't figure it out yet in one of the games, how to play that matchup. So yeah, it was really close because of that.
No.
I don't think it's as bad as it could have looked. But again, I wasn't a viewer. I didn't actually watch that monthly afterwards.
As a Chrono main, what would you say is right now the Chrono's counters?
Well, excessive burst Condi, but there are not many things that can do that, like Condi Mirage and Condi Thief.
Don't get people playing Condi Thief now, please. That would be.
Don't play Condi Thief though. That gets easily focused down. That's not good. I don't know. I don't think there's much else that really hard counters it. And the rest is just Condi's, even as a Scourge, you kind of do pressure against the Chrono, and especially if as a Chrono you don't play well, you get focused pretty easily if you have a plus. But it's just in general being plus, because the Chrono is too slow, right? It can't rotate anywhere because it has the blink, but it doesn't have any other mobility. So if it's on a side node, a lot of people thought, okay, we're just going to put Chronos on side and Chrono on middle. If Chrono's on side, he's just going to get plussed and he can't run anywhere because he's a Chrono, too slow. So it just dies or something like that. Just those things. Very little mobility.
You have to play well. You have to play well, is what you're trying to say.
Well, play well against the Condis, but the burst Condis, if you get bursted to begin with, there's no room to play well anymore because you're dead. And then the movement thing, you just need to not put Chrono in the wrong places, right? Or with the Firebrand is fine. It's just you can't overextend as a Chrono, right? Because otherwise you just get chased down.
Sure. Do you think that then, to a certain extent, that a lot of some of the balance problems in the game are because people aren't willing to adapt to things as quick as they should? So it's people just kind of throw their arms up in the air and just start playing it instead of trying to figure out how to beat it. Instead of figuring out how to destroy the Chrono, they become the Chrono instead. I think this was definitely the case with Firebrand Scourge, right? Everyone's yep, it's fucking cancer. We're all playing it now, so everyone started playing it.
I don't think that's completely true. I think there were some teams that still tried to rotate around it, and you can absolutely. That's the biggest weakness, like Frosty was saying with Chrono. I think for Firebrand Scourge is you can now rotate it.
One thing I'd say though, if I was as good as Scourge as Chrono, I would probably play Scourge instead. Why? Because I think it's more reliable. It's when a Scourge gets +1, the Scourge has a counter pressure. The Chrono has the gravity well, and even that can be kind of avoided. So it's you have gravity well to counter pressure them and nothing else. So unless the Firebrand has insane kite potential on the mid node, he dies every time because they get chased by Thief and Necro. I mean, I don't know. And as with Scourge, like you can just stand on the Firebrand and use all your shade skills, and you do counter pressure like automatically, and Thief can't go as ham.
Yeah. See, there you go. It makes sense. It's not that bad, guys. Shut it down. Shut it all down. We're not nerfing. Wait a minute.
In queues, it is really bad. It is really
He just
bad
wants to win the next monthly, huh? He doesn't want Chrono nerfed. That's what this is. I see it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. We all know the truth here. We know the truth. So Chrono's biggest counter is hoping the person playing it isn't good. Got it. Feels good, man. Well, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. That's the professional pro gamer opinion. Chrono isn't that bad. Shut it all down.
I think we should buff Chrono.
Yeah. I think make Gravity Well twice as big. Cover the whole map. Even.
Oh,
I think when you drop a Gravity Well, it should just instantly cap the point.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing, Roy. Are you wait? Are you doing anything with Chrono in your tournament?
Yes, it's banned.
It's banned. It's banned.
No.
What was the thought process behind that? Like why
there's obviously a lot of, I guess you could say, controversy regarding that. And it was a decision that like I had to think about for a while. Like I wasn't just like I saw it once and was like, okay, I'm banning it. You know, I obviously thought about it for a while. But after the NAUGO, you know, some people realized, I think, how strong it was after they saw Frosty play it in the NAUGO. But at that time, you know, I still hadn't really wanted, I wasn't sure I wanted to ban it because obviously people hadn't seen it for a while. I wanted to see if people could come up with ways to counter it. I wanted to see if it was actually as strong as it seemed to be. And then after the EUGO, when pretty much everyone played it, and it seemed like the games, obviously some of the games timed out. I don't think that would be the case with every single game, but some of them did. The games were pretty boring to cast. The games were pretty boring to watch. And in my opinion, obviously I'm not, you know, I wasn't one of the players, but from my point of view, it seemed like from the players, it was also boring to play against. And so me and Wood Potatoes, who's the other guy he's going to be casting and actually streaming the tournament, we pretty much decided that it wasn't really conducive to a good tournament. It wouldn't really be interesting. It wouldn't really attract people having a Chrono on every single team. And again, obviously, as Frosty said, he doesn't think that it's as good as it's made out to be, and maybe that's the case. But I am pretty confident that if Chrono wasn't banned, we would see it on 90%, if not more, of the teams playing in the tournament. And again, that would just lead to...
You can say the same that now that Chrono is banned, Scourge is going to be 90%.
Firebrand, right?
Yeah, and Firebrand's always going to be there too. So like,
I think Chrono is stronger than Firebrand. I mean, if you're fighting against Firebrand, Chrono, you're going to focus on Firebrand.
But if your argument for banning Chrono is that everybody's going to play a Chrono, then you have to ban Firebrand too, because everybody's going to play at least one Firebrand.
That wasn't the argument. I was saying that I'm pretty sure everyone will play it, and that will lead to boring games and boring games to watch, boring games to play, boring games to cast. Not just that everyone will play it. Obviously, I know everyone's going to play Thief and Firebrand and whatnot. I'm not saying that that's the reason we ban it.
He's saying that those classes are more interesting to play.
Yeah, that's
more interesting to watch. Sorry, more interesting to watch, right? And I think that's fair. However, do you think there was no way to maybe just limit the amount of... Because something that people have complained about is class stacking, right? You know what I mean? Like, people don't like class stacking. Okay, so you think it wouldn't have been enough? It wouldn't have been enough to say you're only allowed one Chrono, only one. You could have a Mirage.
You are already only. You would have only been allowed one Chrono.
Well,
you mean elite spec stacking?
Yeah, elite spec stacking. Yeah.
You think
you
that
couldn't have two Mesmers on the same team is what you're saying. So you couldn't have Mirage.
Right, but do you think that one Chrono on a team is going to make the entire game boring?
If you limited it,
I think Chrono on both teams.
If you limited it to just class, do you think people would probably go with Mirage for the portal? Then, probably, right? I think
the big issue I can see is like
I don't know about that.
what people can do is like they can leave the Chrono alone against the other Chrono, and it's like another stay out matchup in the map. And then another thing is the Chrono, like it's the visual cancer, right? Like everything turns into clones, and you can't see the models. Those two things, that Chrono is a little bit more independent than Firebrand. I mean, than Scourge, and then it's visual cancer. Those two things are, in my opinion, valid arguments, but I think the rest is, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's to a certain extent, it's banning. Yeah, it will certainly make the tournament spicier. I definitely don't disagree with that. I think it will make it way more interesting. But I mean, eventually someone has to figure out how to beat it, right? I mean, it will get nerfed almost certainly, probably. I don't know.
Probably. What about bad Chrono builds?
What do you mean bad?
What
do you mean bad builds?
So all right. So here's the other thing. Here's the other things that we're considering, right?
Just
Nobody plays bad builds.
Chaos.
Here's the So obviously, and I had asked for feedback. We have a Discord set up for it, and I'd asked for feedback regarding this for at least a few days. This was before and after the Signet of Ether nerf as well. If the a lot of people had said oh, just ban Chronophanteatime, the trait, and then allow Chrono, or just ban Gravity Well and then allow Chrono. If a ton of people had come to me and said that, then I would have considered it. I'd asked for that feedback. But again, the majority of people that gave me feedback were just saying to ban Chrono specifically.
I don't think it really matters like how good the ban is. I think you can just ban Chrono as it is, because like if you're going to try to go around banning some certain skills, then people might find other ways to make the same thing work out. And it's just like, if you want to actually get rid of that situation, this is the best way to do it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. And I agree with that as well. That was part of it as well. And again, I'm not. I understand that there's like I'm not saying the reason that we banned it wasn't strictly because it's very strong. Because obviously Thief is extremely strong, and I would probably say that Thief is maybe the strongest class in regards to PvP and has the most impact on a game. But we're not banning it. And the reason for that is because it's interesting to watch Thief. And I also feel like you can, play against Thief in a way that isn't really boring to watch and isn't really, it makes you want to fall asleep. But with Chrono, again, it's just, it comes back to the fact that it's not really conducive to a good tournament because, and again, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Look, I'm not gonna deny that I could be wrong here. But watching the EUGO and I cast the EUGO was not enjoyable, and the majority of people seem to agree with that. And my worry is just that they would have been the same exact thing with this tournament because the Signet of Ether nerf really didn't change anything in regards to Chrono. So nothing really has changed.
Do you think that watching Scourge is more fun though?
Yeah, I do. I know that there's obviously a lot of visual noise with Scourge because of the shades and stuff, but I don't think it's as bad as Chrono. And I also think that again, Frosty was saying before that he thinks that Scourge is maybe more consistent or reliable than Chrono, and obviously that's fair. But I think that Scourge is obviously more of like a glass cannon type of spec where you really have to have that support from the Firebrand. And if you don't have it, it's pretty easy to focus, and even with it, it's obviously still going to be easy to focus. With Chrono, you can't really focus it, in my opinion. You just can't really do it, and when you do, it's very boring to watch. It's not, again, it's just not an enjoyable thing to watch. So, while I think that we're probably going to see a lot of Scourges. One, not every team will run it because not every team was running it before when there wasn't Chrono in the meta, and two, it's a lot easier to I think fight against than Chrono Firebrand.
Okay.
Wow. Well, there you go.
I mean, there's another point. Like when you run Scourge, there's two targets that you can go for. You can go for the Necro or for the Firebrand, especially if the Necro is a little bit out of position. As Chrono, it's bad to focus Chrono like 99% of the time. But while it's easier to focus the Firebrand, you don't have two targets to focus. So it's another thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. That's pretty interesting. To kind of segue that topic, do you guys think that stuff like having 3 chronos in an AT should be disabled. Should they disable class or specialization stacking in
Absolutely.
automated tournaments, boys?
I think probably, yeah.
This is a
think
hot
so.
topic, boys. A hot topic.
No, not necessarily again because it's better or worse. Because obviously, as we said, the 3 chronos isn't necessarily better. But again, it's just it doesn't really make sense to allow it.
Should
to allow
it be
3 chronos
limited?
in.
Should it be limited to 1, or is 2 okay?
I don't know.
I think elite spec stacking is okay as long as it's that, not class stacking. It's fine.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it's not, then it should be 2, in my opinion. Because I mean, it's a good thing to have like that restriction. So even like say, okay, obviously the Spellbreaker era, like say something like that comes up and that is actually really good, then I mean you don't want to see that shit be like stacked all the time, and people actually win with that, and that's going to be boring to watch as well. It's just like something like this chrono thing that the Frenchies did, 3 chronos. It wasn't good, but it was really boring to watch.
Right.
I mean, yeah. And to play against, not gonna lie, like okay, those finals were not the most exciting thing in the history of the game.
So if you do, I like that idea. Like no elite spec stacking, or like even if you don't choose an elite spec, not class stacking maybe, but no elite spec stacking. But what happens when the next expansion comes out and you can still stack 3 Mesmers? Would that be a problem, or it probably won't be an issue?
Well, I mean, there's going to be a lot of other issues, I think.
Yeah.
when there's
another elite
9
spec,
elite specs come into the game.
It's a completely different conversation.
I mean, it's just again, Mesmer is just very strong in general because it has access to the portal, which is no other class has that kind of mechanic. And so if you had 2 or 3 Mesmers on the same team and they're all running portal, then you could rotate around the map a lot easier. Although then you get into the whole like over rotating thing. But you don't really run portal and chrono, so you don't see that anyways. So it's not that's not as relevant here. I don't really think that allowing 3 Mesmers of different specs is an issue in and of itself, because Mirage and Chrono are 2 very different classes, and they play 2 very different roles in a PvP game, I'd say. And I think that's really the same for any elite spec. Like Firebrand and Coreguard don't play they're not the same role. Weaver and Tempest, they're not the same role. You know what I mean? So I think it's fine to allow different elite specs.
Yeah, and
that's why we do it for the UGO.
I tend to say that. But I talked to you know who I talked to about this? I talked to Bick about this, guys, actually a very long time ago. All right, and I made the argument that it doesn't. I think class stacking isn't really a real issue, because I think it's very often not optimal. I don't think it's optimal now, for example. I agree with that as well. Yeah, which is to kind of continue on from what you were saying there, because like I think just think about this, guys. Like if you won a game, okay, versus like someone stacking 3 renegades, you wouldn't be going, oh my god, this class stacking is ridiculous, would you? Because like 3 renegades fucking sucks. Well, I mean that would be trash.
The other thing to look at too is we've allowed class stacking in the UGO for I don't even know how many, like the last 3 or 4 now, I think. And it's pretty much never been used except for 2 Mesmers. So it's just, I agree. It's not really, I don't think it's necessarily the most optimal thing anyways. It's just kind of there if people want it,
Also, especially if you wanted to do elite spec, no elite spec stacking, that would be really hard to program, or really hard to like implement into the game properly with the ability to still be able to switch characters. So I don't know, that would probably never come. Is one issue.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I hate to say it, guys. I hate to say it, chat and the Guild Wars 2 community. Like, if you're complaining about like class stacking, I'd kind of side with Frosty and just say get good, man. It's kind of, I don't know. Like, I don't think
currently it's not an issue.
I don't think it's good. Like, I think I definitely agree that Mesmer should probably be toned down a little bit, but it doesn't have to. They don't have to wreck it. And I don't think having 3 Mesmers is optimal, because they got fucked. And honestly, the reason, I know, obviously my team played against that as well. We lost because we're bad, but we could have won.
Hold on now. I blame Angels.
Wow.
I'm not bad. I'm really good. I carried.
Wow.
I only died to Deadeye 3 times.
Oh, wait.
Dude,
to Deadeye.
do not watch
Ooh.
the first. Do not watch the first game of a monthly. Holy shit, dude. We nearly lost to Deadeye, man. Like, oh my god.
This is the Georgia strat.
No, you know what?
Pistol
You know
Deadeye or
what?
Rifle Deadeye?
No, I said this on stream. We were just letting him get ahead to make it more interesting. All right, it was the sickest comeback ever, dude. All right, it was fucking awesome.
Do not watch that game ever.
Important
You can
question,
watch,
was
you
it...
can watch
I
the
am-
game halfway through.
I am deleting
Then
the
we start
VOD,
winning.
dude. I am fucking deleting the VOD right now. I want all evidence of that gone, dude. Seriously.
Was it pistol, or
It
was
was
it
rifle, man. It
No,
was
it was
rifle.
Oh,
Dude, we
Yeah.
ran into the node like in mid, me and Teapot, and we were like, all right, dude, this is gonna be easy. And I was like watching for the thief because I knew he was gonna port on me. And then I just get one shot. I was like, what the fuck was that? And then Teapot died. And Angel started freaking out.
Somewhere out there, Brazil is hearing
Dude,
this
he was
in his
he was
brain.
on stream, dude. As soon as we almost lost to Deadeye, he came onto stream.
Yeah, dude,
in
he was
channel,
right.
Was
He
saying
was
I
right the
all
entire
along.
time. I bet he was running the Brazil build, dude. Full berserker
Yeah.
with infiltrator rune, dude. Yeah.
And then he
Nice.
flamed us after we won too.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. So, yeah, class stacking, get fucking good, okay? Like if you know people complain about this shit, just I don't know, just be good and counter it. Shut it down.
Look.
Just counter it. Figure out the counter, okay? Or join them. Either you know, if you don't like class stacking, then you better start class stacking. You know, like just become the aids, okay? If you can't be bothered to counter it, become the aids. That's how I say. That's how I say, boys. Okay.
No, learning how to counter is obviously better.
Well, yeah, it's the better part, but people are lazy as fuck, right? So they're
And it also didn't really happen when Scourge and Firebrand were still as good as they were back then. Nobody really ran counters to that, even though it was around for quite a while.
Right, I would say Thief, Scourge,
SD Thief.
Firebrand were the core of everything.
I think
Was the-
SD Thief was the biggest thing that happened. Like, people
Yeah,
changed to
once-
SD Thief.
Once
Mm.
people started running SD, they were starting to. I think people started focusing Firebrands more when that happened as well, and realizing that you could focus it more. Instead of just focusing the Necro, because everyone always just went for the Necro, but now I think it's kind of a like Frosty said before, you can focus either one.
So, does anybody here play Firebrand?
Yeah.
You do?
Roy is a Firebrand main. I play
He
Firebrand.
plays
And-
DH.
I'm
How much?
DH.
Oh, you play. Oh, DH. Oh, okay. All right. Well, DH is
What?
good. Well, because after the switch, after Menders, not Menders, after what was it called? Not mages.
Magi.
Sages. After
Magi?
You mean
Magi, yeah.
Yeah.
After Magi went away, things got a little bit less tanky, but I like it now.
Right.
I really
Yeah,
like.
I think it's good. I think it was a bit harder to kill Firebrand before, and now it's a little easier.
But also being able to like run Menders instead means you can have a lot of fun doing some damage with Firebrand as well now.
You don't. I mean, yeah, technically.
I
you do a
have
bit,
been.
but You don't really.
But I don't-
You don't really do like your damage isn't really relevant on Firebrand. I would say. I mean, maybe a little bit. Like, yes, technically you're doing now more damage, but you're not ever focusing on damage on Firebrand anyways.
You shouldn't be.
Um,
But
you can
in
do a
gold, you
decent-
can do whatever you want.
You can do a decent bit of cleave with Firebrand, maybe. Like, you can try and pressure a little bit, but most of what you're trying to do is heal people
You
and
can
not
cleave
die.
a little bit, but if you're going for cleave on Firebrand instead of like stomping or healing, it's not like
Oh,
I
you
don't
do
know.
that too.
You shouldn't ever really be focusing on damage on Firebrand. That's not really. If you literally have nothing else, if your F3 and F2 tomes are off and all your magics are on cooldown, whatever, then all right, sure.
I
But,
mean,
Oh, I've been having a
Claiming
lot
is-
of fun with Radiance.
claiming
well, yeah, but
is
you don't
bad,
run,
right?
you don't run
but
Radiance on the meta build.
Yeah, on the meta build you don't.
you still like do this burst thing with the Firebrand and Scourge, right? Like you kind of try to align your bursts with the
Yeah.
F1
Yeah,
stuff.
and obviously, yeah, if you start in F1, you can start in F1, and I mean, you drop symbols on downstate and stuff on Mason or Axe and staff. I'm not saying there's literally zero damage coming out of Firebrand, and yes, obviously the Menders from Magi swap is certainly part of that, but again, it's not. I don't really think changes Firebrand's role really in any way.
Well, it shouldn't, but yeah.
The when you're playing aggressively on Firebrand, as Frosty said, like what you use it for is to CC.
I mean, it
You
absolutely
use it for
pressures
big CC, dude. Lure them into the aids. You got to put them in the Scourge aids, man. Then
The
they're in-
little focus pull.
exactly. It's much like a focus pull except way smaller and doesn't have like a million range. We should start running foci in fucking rank, dude. I think the aids in World vs. What unbelievable, dude. Seriously, we played. Well, I mean, obviously we
On Necro?
No, on Mesmer, man, on Mesmer. Focus pulls, dude.
Oh.
Focus pulls.
Oh.
It's so good. You know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it is. What the focus pull? Well, I wouldn't do it in PvP, but in World vs. World, man, that's the real shit, dude. That's the real shit.
But some people do run it in World vs. World.
Yeah, I'd say it's meta in World vs. World. I would say.
What's better, focus pull or the grasp, the
Spectral grasp.
Yeah, spectral grasp.
Well,
Spectral grasp is more range, I guess.
Spectral grasp control you though. It's a projectile, so if they reflect it, you pull yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have to watch out for that.
It's also pretty easy to. I mean, both are pretty easy to dodge, I guess, but whatever.
I mean, I've seen it like in 2 games in PvP, and I got pulled once. Like the other time, I just saw the thing. Like, I had no idea. Like I didn't know that skill had even changed. I thought it was still like this projectile or anything. The enemy. It's AOE now, I guess.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
And it's like auto target AOE. It's weird. It's a weird skill, but it's not a big issue.
Fucking good. But in any case, my friends, in any case, you know. So with regards to the balancing in the game, I think we can agree that it's kind of okay right now. Maybe Chrono's too good, but do we need to see more hotfixes like this? Would you guys have liked to see more stuff hotfixed in addition to the Signet on Mesmer going forwards?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it should just be one skill, right? I mean, I guess this was like, I have no clue like what's going on behind the scenes, right? This was something very exceptional, yeah? This has not happened in the past, really. So I don't think they're gonna do anything more than that. But like, I have no clue. Why did it even happen, or how were they able to do that, but not any other things? Was it because they didn't have anything else tested, so they couldn't put anything out, or?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how easy it is for them to actually implement changes
probably
like
not
this.
very easy.
Yeah,
right? I mean, it's probably very hard judging by the speed they're putting out, like balance patches and stuff, right?
Well, they don't normally ever do hotfixes, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing,
I've really
right?
almost never seen hotfixes, right?
And I feel like they have some things, like some sort of barrier, like they cannot do them all the time. Like they need to have like some communication between 2 teams or something like that.
Oh,
and that's why
ArenaNet's always just been kind of slow.
Yeah, well,
about everything. So
is it? Maybe there's like some issue with how they're handling things, and.
Well, also, I mean, to be fair, I think balancing is generally, I mean, in any game is a bit difficult because you want to make sure you don't, overbalance or underbalance. And so I think they realized that Chrono is and was something that needed to be, nerfed immediately, and so that's why they put the Signet of Ether nerf out. I mean, and obviously that affects more than just Chrono, I suppose, but.
But you don't want to.
They probably. My guess is 2 things. One, they didn't want to put out anything like a really big nerf, or a really big change to Chrono without testing it farther or trying to figure out what effect it would have.
Okay.
And then also they probably want to put that out with the full balance patch, which we don't, obviously we don't have a date for that, but whenever they change everything, balance everything, as opposed to just Chrono.
One thing that I forget about is the balance stance rousing thing. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if it's intended, but I haven't seen any comment from Arena about it. It gives you rousing regardless of if you break stun or not. Please fix, because it is not interactive and it's not fun. Okay, fuck that.
So if you activate balance stance, it just automatically
it is always
gives you rousing.
That's been like that forever, yeah.
Yeah, it has been since like
I didn't realize that.
HOT, right?
Yeah, well, that's not quite right. Yeah, that's not quite right.
Yeah,
that's not good. Yeah, it shouldn't be. That's a bug.
That should have been gone. I tried to make like posts about it, but they got completely ignored. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised, really. Yeah. I think, I think in order to keep the game fresh, the stuff has to be adjusted more often. And there are some classes you don't see, right? There are some classes that don't really get a lot of play. I think Weaver is probably the
Ellie in general.
Yeah. Ellie is probably a pretty big culprit because everything else gets played, right? Pretty much everything else gets played at a reasonable kind of level, right? Think what? Do
Yeah.
you see any druids about the place anymore, or soul beasts or something, or do they got kind of slapped pretty hard?
I still see
Actually?
druids.
I think-
No, I still see druids.
Yeah, but
But
I mean,
again,
I
not-
but they're
mean
not
in
as
competitive.
soft.
I mean in competitive
Yeah.
play. Yeah, I mean like
Not as much.
Yeah, I mean Ranger kind of got bopped.
I mean, there was a druid in the EU UGO finals. I'm pretty sure. But like I feel like it's not, you don't see it as much. It's kind of like Rev, I think.
It's not really good. Like he has this place like in a way in the matchups. Like it can take like Condom Mirage probably. I've not tested it, but Condom Mirage is worse now. Even though Druid is worse, I assume it's fine for him as long as he plays it like fine. Doesn't use his auto attack on the confusion. But the problem is like everything else absolutely fucks you. And I think like Warrior is ish the equivalent of Ranger becoming to that, because like you look at the rousing thing, it's not really fun to play against either. I mean, I'm not saying Warrior is that good, but god damn, that's not fun to play against at all. Like rousing in a power meta is just like, you have, how much armor do you have? I don't remember. It's just ridiculous amount.
1,000
Take
gives you
any
1,000.
damage.
It turns out it's about as good as protection, just out of interest.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I would much rather play against Holo any day. I don't know. It doesn't feel very interactive, because it's like you're discouraged from CCing. Yeah. Well, CCing should be a good thing, and CCing is tied to a lot of your skills and a lot of what you do, like stealing, for example. And then all of a sudden, like,
Yeah,
I
I
want to
agree.
do that. It's not fun. Right?
Yeah.
It's toughness. I was wondering the like total armor level that you get out of it. Yeah.
So with regards to, do you think that there needs to be some stuff addressed in the game that would make it more fun? Like, Frosty, do you think there are anything? What classes in the game are anti-fun right now? Go.
Qs or like MAT?
I actually think that Qs deserve some consideration as well, but
Okay.
so let's do both. Let's do both. Like Qs definitely. At the end of the day, like
They
although
usually balance more around Qs than amputees anyways, because that's what the majority of players do.
No, I actually think they kind of try and do both to a certain extent, but
Right, I think they
I
usually
think-
focus on Qs though.
yeah, I think that's fair because of course that's the majority of the games, right? But yeah, I definitely think that you know, I think both are very important, right? Like obviously the high level balance is important, right? To have the game competitive feels good, man. Obviously, right? Have some level of competition going, but obviously the Qs are obviously extremely important as well. So yeah, let's talk about Qs first, boys. Let's talk Qs first, okay?
I would say SD Thief is not fun. I mean, it's better after the patch, the nerfs, but I don't think SD Thief is very fun to play against. And I'd say Warrior as well, but Warrior's, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I just think it's going to a bad direction. If it actually becomes good, I will hate it. And I mean, obviously, Chrono isn't fun to play against at all in queues. It's really, really bad. And I think Mirage is okay to play against, but I know a lot of people have a problem with it. I think. I don't know. It's just like I don't personally have a problem with it. Everything else, I mean, a lot of people also hate Scourge, but I'm okay with how Scourge is right now. Holo, I mean, it's could it be really annoying with the prop build if it was better than it is right now?
Holo's
Probably.
not so bad. Holo's,
It's yeah, no.
there's big tells.
Holo's
and,
okay.
Yeah. So, but are you saying these classes as a Condi, as not a Condi, as a Chrono? These are the classes that you don't enjoy
I think
playing?
it just means in general.
I
Just as a player.
play a lot of stuff. Like I don't
Yeah.
just play Chrono.
Frosty's a multi
Okay.
class.
I play different classes as well, not just Mesmer.
Okay.
Yeah, Frosty plays everything, man.
Yeah, that's why I thought
Frosty
a long.
was
I think the last time I watched your stream was a very long time ago, and I think that you were playing Ellie, and that's why I was like, I thought you were in Ellie.
Played Ellie today as well.
Yeah.
As long as he's naked, he plays it.
So I mean, to
That's
me,
it. I remember that.
Like, what have we learned here, guys? What have we learned? What have we learned from this? It's not.
Nothing.
We learned a lot. We learned that it's not actually that bad. I mean, like, here he is. rank 1, best chrono
He
in
seems
the
like a
game.
nice guy, so
Best
it can't be
chrono
that
in the
bad.
game, and he's telling us. And
Have you
honestly, I
watched
kind of
his
agree
stream?
with him. Like, I don't know. I don't. Whenever I play, PvP, I never feel like it's very. It feels relatively fair. Like sometimes, yeah, like you have a horrible matchup. Like I'm playing Necro, and I'm trying to kill Mirage. I'm not really gonna have a good time. But it's not. That's how it goes. Like everyone has bad matchups, right? Like I don't know. That's just kind of how it goes. I think it's mostly on people just wanting to always be able to always win. I don't know. I think it's just not.
Cinder's asking what's most boring on a scale of 1 to 5. I'd say Chrono is where 5 is. Then Warrior is
He's
like.
asking you to rank your top 5, I think.
Oh really? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Chrono's at 5, Warrior's at 4, SD Thief's at 3, and the rest whatever. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
1 and 2 is like irrelevant anyway.
Well, there you go. So, do you think that needs to be addressed? Then, like, in the next balance patch, do you expect that to be addressed?
Warrior, no. SD Thief, I don't think so. It's possible, but I don't think so. Chrono, yes, it will be.
And do you think the way to do that is to address chaos?
I haven't thought about chaos. I don't think so, really. I mean, obviously the permaprot is really like it's really busted, and it's not really fun. I don't know. I don't know if. I guess you should do something about that to like make it healthy for the game, but it's not something you need to do to fix the chrono build. It's like to make it so you don't have all the phantasm spam, like all the phantasms around you, and so that you can't see anything. I mean, that's I think the main issue with chrono, and that way you can nerf it to so it's bad or whatever. But then again, like you don't really want to nerf Chrono Phantasma, so all Chrono Phantasma builds are useless. But I don't know if that's possible, really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So from that, I kind of glean that it's not solo queue. It's got some mildly annoying things, but game is reasonably well balanced. Except, I mean, obviously in solo queue, it's always going to be very weird because it's without the coordination, you don't have an accurate representation of the balance, in my opinion. I think without, so for example, like I would say that in solo queue, stuff like Firebrand is just like a mistake, right? Like it's just horrible. Like solo queue Firebrand is misery, guys. Okay, because yes,
I've been having a great time. Well, I play a different build than the meta, so I don't know if that makes a difference.
No, it's misery. It's misery. Your team just runs around and dies. And just
that is true. That is true.
There's nothing you can do. But
Still,
whereas in the
that actually brings me to a question.
Yeah,
that brings me to a question.
Let's
I'm
go.
sorry.
Let's go.
In high levels, in like legend, plat, whatever, how many points do you gain for a win or lose for a loss usually?
Oh wait.
Wait.
So high rating, how much you lose and how much you win. At prime time, I don't actually know because I haven't been really paying attention. I mean, 9 is a pretty common number. I see an 11 plus wise, and minus it's like
minus 20, dude.
A little bit closer to 20, but not quite 20.
Yeah, it's not actually as bad as it was.
I only play at flat 3.
Yeah. It's nowhere near as bad as it was. Yeah.
So where I am, it's plus 13, minus 13, basically. Okay. And it's, I mean, I got unlucky with my placement matches, so I placed like in silver. It was terrible. And since then, I've been going, 80% win streak or whatever, and I'm in mid gold right now. I haven't played that often, but whatever. It's just a grind, and it's not fun because I had crappy placement matches. But every single game I play, I've been getting 3 or 4 medals. And I'm wondering how bad of an idea it would be to somehow relate your performance to the amount of rank you gain.
You mean like the top healing? Is that what you mean by medals?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. Like, it's just not representative. It's not representative.
I know it's not representative completely, but still, it's.
I don't think it's at all. It's not at all. I don't know. I mean, like top damage. I mean, it's not necessarily. It's not necessarily how good it is.
I know it's not, but still. Oh, sorry, I said medals instead of. What do you want to call them? Exactly.
I don't know.
I don't know
what they call it.
I mean, I know what you're talking about. It doesn't really matter what you call them. No, I don't really think it makes sense to give you more rating based on that.
Okay.
You know,
All right. Yeah, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Well,
Very.
fine. Instead of the top stats, just some way to rate perform. It's going to be way too hard.
I mean,
No,
I don't think the
it's-
rating system is that bad now. I mean,
Yeah, I think the rating's fine actually. I think they've improved it and they've ironed out a lot of the crease. I think it's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
the
obviously,
only way
you
to
lose
make it
more the higher up you are, and you
It
gain
just
less the higher up
feels
you are.
really bad that you lose the same amount of points, even though like you're obviously doing all the work on a team
Right.
that loses
It's just
barely.
That's population.
Yeah,
That's population.
You get punished
not
more,
just
but yeah, that's
population. Like, I mean, there's population issue too, I guess. But it's like every team game you play, if you're playing it solo, you're gonna feel bad. it's like when I play Overwatch competitive. I mean, it was fun, but I also hated it. I mean, I was playing at a high level, right? I was at the border top 500 every season, up until season 3, and I did not have a good time. And I'd say it's because I was playing solo queue.
Solo
what you're saying is
solo queue is always going to be a. It's gonna feel when you lose, it's gonna feel bad, and it's because you know. I mean,
it's like there's no way to actually give you rank based on your performance. There's no reliable stats or anything, and Overwatch even tries to do that actually, but yeah,
it does do it like a little bit. You do get but I wish that
also flawed. Like at one point, supports were getting way too much SR.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And that's why Mercy mains were all over the top leaderboard. But I mean, obviously, if they implement something like that into Guild Wars 2, there's going to be the certain classes that everybody wants to play because it's the ones that give the most rank. So it'll be very difficult to implement something like that. But I just want to be rewarded a little bit more for carrying a team in solo queue. Is all.
No, I think that would be a mistake. I don't think it would. I think it would not work very well. But anyway, you know, I tell you what. Let's go on to the other half of the discussion, which is okay. In a competitive situation, are there any? How balanced is the game? How balanced is the game? Frosty, monthly AT winner, best Mesmer in the entire game, best player in the entire game. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you forced Misha to change his character name to second best Mesmer because you joined 55. Okay,
I also suggested third best Mesmer as his second character name.
Wow. So it's even worse. It's even worse than we first thought. When it comes to competitive 5v5, monthly ATs, Yugos, and missed challenger tournaments, what's broken? What's busted in fives?
I mean, there's obviously Thief. Thief's busted. I don't think Thief should be like nerfed hard or anything like that, though. I mean, I hate SD Thief in queues, so I'd like to see SD Thieves burned. But I mean, I do like the existence of Thief. I like that. I mean, it creates like more tempo to games a lot of time, in my opinion. So I think Thief is good. It's exciting, right? It's good, even though it's broken. I think it's the most broken. I don't know if there's anything like, obviously the Firebrand Scourge Chrono situation here. I mean, they're busted, right? Because pretty much everyone has had to play them so far, anyway. I mean, I don't know if it's a have to. Maybe you can play around it, but yeah, it seems like they're really, really good right now. I don't know if it's a bad thing though. I don't think the competitive thing is in such a bad stage. It's like, I think one thing also is like a lot of the maps are very different in play when you take Firebrand, Chrono, Firebrand, Scourge, whatever in mind. Like rotating and just in general playing those comps is less so exciting in some maps and more so exciting in some, right? And it's going to be very different in each one because of how like the distance and the in between the nodes and everything changes, right? But I don't think it's bad right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's. Yeah, again, like I do occasionally try and tell people this, that it's really not as bad as they think, because I think there's always going to be something that's the best, right? I mean, people aren't going to play things that are suboptimal, and like, a lot of the times there's always going to be something that's always better. I think it's quite, to a certain extent, it's a little strict right now, because I think something to look at is that there's only one good support class right now that does anything, right? Like, you can't play Healily. So I think something that should be addressed is buffing some other classes to replace the roles, right? So that stuff like buff Healily, right? So it can do something good, right? So you can play, instead of a Firebrand, maybe you play a Healily, right?
Yeah, I think it could be more exciting if some things replaced like Firebrand or Scourge, because I think they aren't like the best that we could have, like in terms of fun. But some things could fill the roles.
Having a second class to sort of provide the support, like obviously Tempest would be the next sort of thing, but it gets completely outclassed by Firebrand.
Now it's like it's a lot of like boon spam and stuff. It's like there's
only like, other than Chrono, if you take Chrono out of the picture, there's only like, Firebrand and Scourge are obviously the ideal 2vx. So
when you take the Firebrand, it's like you have the elite that just breaks the stun every time you use it, and he has charges. So I mean, stuff like that, in my opinion, isn't just like, it's not that fun, because then you're trying to CC block them or whatever. I mean, sometimes it does work out obviously really well, like sometimes with Gravity Well, but I mean, they need to not have that available. So it's like, it's not that fun to play against, right? And Scourge has it has the inevitable presence on the node and around the node because of the shades, and that's not very fun.
Well, with regards to Scourge specifically, I think they should make it so that Big Shade isn't used. I think the Big Shade should just be... Well, I don't know. This is something that I could talk about for ages, because I have some interesting ideas about this, but I think Big Shade should be the support version. You would only take Big Shade if you're going to play the support variant of Scourge.
I think that was the idea.
Yeah, that was the idea. In fact, if you look at the way the traits are aligned, right, every top trait there is a support trait, right? So that was the intention, but it turns out too bad. It does a shit ton of damage anyway. But I think that the key in making the game more fun and more balanced and feel a bit fresher, I think, is definitely in buffing other things, right? So you can have other supports you can play, right? So you can have, so that you still have the same slots, like you probably want some kind of roamer, some kind of duelist or side node holder, stuff like that, and team fight, which would be the Necro, right? As we're seeing on these new websites and all the overlays, dude, like, all these fancy keywords, right? About what all the different roles in PvP are. But to have more options, right? Like that you can have, right? So make Rev a little bit better, right? Stuff like that. Make Weaver better, because Weaver is kind of that roamer. It's kind of like a thief almost, right? It just tries to appear and one shots people. So you could kind of make LA a bit better.
Damage Weaver.
Yeah, Damage Weaver, dude. Well, dude, they bug
Sword Weaver, Solid Frog.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit Resident Sleeper, but it's kind of it's cool, right? Something like that. I think it looks really cool.
I would hate playing against Sword Weavers if it was meta. It's such fucking evade spam. It's like they spam all their CDs, and when they run out of the stun breaks, they die. That's it. It's not fun.
Yeah, I mean, having alternatives would be nice, right?
I would really like to see Tempest in play. I would like to see Tempest.
I would really like to see Healing Tempest. And I really thought they were going to, right? I really thought they were going to go for it in the previous balance patch. I thought they were going to buff the hell out of Tempest to try and have Firebrand be replaced by something.
I thought that when they
did buff it.
They nerfed it, dude. They fucking nerfed it. They reduced the healing effectiveness on the water trait.
It's really not that bad, though.
Well, I mean, 5%, but the thing is, it is so much worse than Firebrand, so, I mean...
No. I think they're getting there with Tempest, and I think that people just really haven't tried Tempest too much because Firebrand's so good. So I think that if they change something in the next balance patch that really catches people's eyes about Tempest, people will start playing it, and it might give Firebrand a run for the money for support. But right now, it's just that I think it could probably, it's obviously still not as good as Firebrand, but I think it could probably do almost the same role right now.
No, it's bad.
I mean, it can always do the same role, but it won't be able to do it as well, even near.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like
but you just need one eye-popping thing.
Well, I mean that will make people in queues and stuff interested in like trying it out, and I mean, sure, that's cool, but it won't like actually become played because things like meta battle, and I mean, Angels is upcoming site, right?
Angels.
Are we allowed to expose that?
No, he's not finished yet. We're not exposing it. We're not exposing Angels.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna show what's the best things, right? And I mean, those maybe it shows more than that. I don't know.
Ooh.
But I don't know anything. Okay, but if those things just show the best options, people won't be playing those in the end anyway. So you'd want them to make them at least competitive enough. So, like for example, streamers play them on stream for fun in queues because they're actually somewhat competitive in queues.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I play a lot of Deadeye.
Most streamers won't play something that's completely useless, just because people don't want to see them lose all the time. But
but you can play if you have a decent
I'm not saying
win rate
never.
and it's fun, right? Yeah, it's okay. What is there any way we could make another class replace Mesmer though? That's what I want. That's what I want to say. Like, how do you replace? Well, I mean, like, basically, like, the bigger utility that Mesmer brings, I guess, is Portal, right? Like, how do you? What what else could you grant to another class that would give it that kind of rotation power? Or is there no way that they're going to be able? Is that even possible to do? Is what I'm going to say. I'm trying to think about things that are irreplaceable in PvP, and I would say that stuff like Portal is really difficult to dislodge, right?
You can't just replace, like, if you're just gonna give something to another class. I mean, they're just gonna play both then.
No, I don't mean it literally. I mean, like, how could you have something that kind of fills the same role as that, right?
Well, I mean, nothing will have this. Like, it's such a unique skill, right? I mean, there's the only thing, the closest thing to it is the Scourge Portal, right? I mean,
that's not exactly the same.
Yeah, it's.
Well, maybe how far is
moves.
the thief trap teleport?
I mean, that's further than.
It's 10K, dude. 10K.
There you go.
You can't port other people into those.
It's like you can have a lot of mobility on a class, but then again, some classes can't have a lot of mobility. So it's really locked. I don't think you can replace Mesmer. I don't think you need to, right? I think having to have one Mesmer is
because I don't think you have to play Mesmer.
I mean,
if Mesmer, if Chrono and Mirage weren't as strong as they are, I don't think Portal's literally the only reason. Obviously, Portal is very strong, as I said before, especially if you use it well. But I think when it becomes more relevant is when both teams play for 3 nodes. And that's something else to kind of talk about in regards to PvP, is that no one really plays for 2 nodes as much anymore. And when you play for just 2 nodes, I don't think Portal's as strong.
I mean, only one time in the past we've seen really like somebody contest the Mesmer team on the high level, and that was like Orange Logo with Burn Guardian or whatever. Or was that with Mediguard? I think it was Mediguard actually. Hammerguard. That was a long time ago. I don't remember. But it's like the only way to actually make it so Mesmer wouldn't be played in every team for the Portal is so Mesmer either can't escape, like some people chasing them, so the Portal won't be useful because they'll just chase him down and kill him before he can use it, or the Mesmer just actually does nothing else but Portal. Like,
how about this?
Really bad.
How about this? Every time you see a Mesmer on the other team, you put a Condi Thief on your team with Shadow Trap that just lays it on top of a portal.
Yeah. Good idea.
It's a counter. Yeah.
That shuts it down. That shuts it fully down, man. You know.
There you go.
So in that case, do you think maybe it is correct to kind of nerf Chrono down a bit, right? Then to make it so instead of just being really, really strong on its own and having the portal, it has to have to make a few little. Well, Chrono doesn't. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mesmer. Right? Mesmer in general, right? Like to kind of nerf it down a little bit, so it has to pick between being good at fighting things or wriggling away and having that utility as well, right? But I guess it's only one utility skill, so it's kind of tricky. Because
I guess another thing is Mirage can do kind of all of this things.
Exactly, that's the problem. Yeah, that's where you have a bit of a problem, right? Because as you were saying much earlier on, right, the Chrono is not particularly mobile because of its lack of portal. Because you run all the phantasms, right? This little shit, that blocker guy and the boon stripper guy, right?
I mean, it's not just that. Like if you look at core Mesmer, I mean, it's got pretty much the same amount of mobility. It's just Mirage's mobility is like
Really
almost
fast.
least
Off the
level.
fucking charts. Yeah,
He's a
Something
fast
that.
boy.
Like, it's almost as mobile as Thief.
Yeah, almost.
No. So yeah, maybe that needs to be kind of reduced down a little bit. Is there any way you could design the maps around it? Could you change the maps to affect the balance? Is there a map?
Should it though? Should it be changed? Because I mean, Thief has always been the most mobile class, and to have a second class that can sort of contest that, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's bad at all. But I think that when you have that extreme mobility and you have Portal, then maybe that's where you have some problems, right?
Right. Okay.
So it's when you have all of these things all together. Imagine if Thief had Portal. Imagine that.
Sorry, I was trying to mute.
No, never mind.
Frosty leaving.
Because then it'll be interesting, right? Yeah. Is there anything?
Like, what do you think you're saying about the map to counteract Portal? Like, put.
Well, I was gonna say like a way you can adjust balance. Maybe I'm old school. Like in the old RTS games, if one faction was too overpowered, you'd just change the map to favor the other ones.
Well, then you just have a really small map. That would definitely not make Portal very useful.
Well, yeah. What about something like that though? Seriously, I mean, what if there was a map where Mesmer
like
was
Legacy,
really not
right?
good on? Right?
I mean, it's not like a Legacy. On Legacy, Portal would be bad, especially when there's Lord and stuff. But it's one of those maps where, especially back then, when people played one team played the non-Mesmer comp, Legacy was a really good map for them because you can move around pretty fast. Especially with ports, like you don't have a problem going far and close, and essentially like going in time, so that the portal doesn't matter as much. Like so, you'll get to the node in time before something bad happens.
What about making a map with only 2 nodes on it?
Oh no! I don't know about that one, dude. It's not Conquest anymore at that point, is it? Right?
Gonna be a lot of bunker.
It could be interesting.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying that's a good idea.
1 point,
but like
one point, and it's really small, so the shade can cover all of it. Nice.
Yeah, sounds good. But I just mean, not that specifically. But what about changing the dynamic? And obviously, that's why you have like on Legacy you have Lord, and on Forest you have the Beast, and yada yada. So there's different sort of mechanics or whatever on each map. But like changing how you play, so you'd have to kind of come up with different comps for each map. And not necessarily making it a 2-node map, but something that affects it in that sort of same way. I mean, what could be those kind of changes, if you'd want to, anyways.
How whenever?
Yeah, no, I mean there is that's definitely worth considering, right? But I would be very cautious with altering the game mode because I think Conquest is a pretty good game mode.
Oh no, I agree.
Right?
I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's good.
So I would be very hesitant to do that. Right?
Every time you take a portal, you lose 20% of your health.
That's
how about every time?
Well, that is kind of interesting. That's
interesting.
I mean, it's an interesting thing. Like, so then when you portal, you kind of have like that instant momentum swing because you also get like a backlash in a way.
That's right.
So it's like you have
your dazed for 1 second after you come out the portal because oh god.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
People who aren't
the stability, perimeter stability.
You just use stability. Yeah, that's true. You just use stability. You have to stab up.
Well, I mean, they've made effects that go through stability. So
that's a horrible idea, by the way, guys. Do not do that, ArenaNet. Please, do not fucking do that. Okay.
I mean, but that's like the right mindset to go at it with, right? Because that has the right effect in a way. I mean, those kind of things. Obviously, not exactly those things.
Yeah.
A map in which the far node gives you +2 points. So the far node is the best node.
So far node becomes mid node. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there you go. Now you get 15 versus 15 Conquest with 5 points. Holy shit! It gets even better, boys. But is there any? Right. Anyway, let's re-rail this conversation a bit. Is there anything else that is completely irreplaceable in PvP right now? So Firebrand pretty irreplaceable as we've determined.
Well,
Mesmer also. But
Thief.
What else? Thief.
I don't
Okay, you
know.
think Thief is irreplaceable?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I think Thief is the least replaceable class.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yep. I think
I think that's probably pretty fair.
I think Thief has more impact on any game.
ST is pretty
if
good.
you have a really good Thief, then you're not gonna. I mean, that Thief's gonna be doing the most work in the entire game because it's gonna decap. It's gonna +1. It can 1v1. You know, it's. I would say definitely Thief's the strongest class at the moment in terms of PvP. Not necessarily in terms of the class itself, but.
Yeah. Okay. So
and
in that case, what class?
The other thing too, as far as like Firebrand goes, I don't necessarily think that it's irreplaceable because again, I think you can play around Firebrand because of how slow in general it is, and the fact that it's not very good on its own. It has to be paired with like a Necro or a Chrono, because you don't really ever see someone playing Firebrand, and that's why Firebrand's so bad in solo queue. Usually, you can't really 1v1 on Firebrand. It doesn't really do that. You can't really decap anything on Firebrand.
Sorry, we're still talking about competitive. Okay, all right. Because uncompetitive.
I'm talking about the meta build. Like obviously, yes, if you run Radiance on Firebrand, you're gonna do damage. Like of course, Radiance is a very strong trait line, but you don't run Radiance on Firebrand when you run the meta build, and it makes your support a lot. It hurts your support a lot. So that's why you wouldn't run it in a competitive scene. So I feel like if you don't play Necro, I mean obviously you still see Firebrand used with Hollow and Rev and whatnot. But if you're not going for those team fights as much or 2vx's, then it's not necessarily as strong, in my opinion. I just don't think that anyone really tries to, because I think that, I mean, Firebrand's obviously very good, and I think Firebrand's good with almost any comp, but just no one really tries to play differently than that.
Yeah. So you think that there could be another way to play, but it just needs to be fleshed out a bit by the community? I think that's very fair. And
I think so too.
I think that's very fair. And we actually do see this. I mean, you can say what you like about the Hotbox boys, but you know they do try and play a different style, right?
Yeah. But that's like comps that you've seen a lot. I mean, and I said this before. There were comps before. I think before Path of Fire, like without Tempest and Reaper. You know, you'd see people running stuff that focused more on side node fights and rotating around the map as opposed to team fighting. And you saw when Path of Fire came out and people, even when before Scourge got nerfed a bit and Firebrand got nerfed a bit, you would see people running Revenant and Hollow and Warrior and Druid and Thief, you know, to try and rotate around Firebrand Necro and stuff like that. And I just don't think it's done often, but it definitely can.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, there's obviously again the thing is there aren't enough rank 55s, right? There aren't enough people trying to innovate the meta to a certain extent, right?
And like playstyles also, it's like different teams and different players have different playstyles. Like say, just to take like Misha. Misha's playstyle, just builds wise, is like he plays burst much better than anything else, right? So like, according to teams' playstyles, if people would play a lot, scrim, etc., they'd like have their own comps, etc. Like I do think that there's actually competitive stuff, right? I don't think what we play right now is the only way to play the game. It's just we don't really have anything.
I mean, yeah, you know, you're not going to see Sin all of a sudden be like, I really want to play Mesmer, or I really want because you know he's a Thief player. I mean, it makes sense for him to play. Same Cookie, he's going to play Guardian. That's what he plays. It's like, you know, I'm not really good at much besides Firebrand or Guardian, and so you know you're not going to see me all of a sudden. If I had a team or something, you know, be like, oh, let's do something else. I mean, you know, I play other stuff in rank queues because I don't want to just play Firebrand. But yeah, obviously it depends on the players on the team as well. That's a big part of it for sure. But I think for the most part, people have always centered comps around a Thief and sort of like a team fight duo.
Yeah,
I think that's been the meat of a comp for a really long time. Not literally 100% of the time, but you know.
I mean, it has like recently, yeah, that's true. Since like HOT,
yeah,
pretty much.
Well, yeah. That was when people figured out that you know, turns out sort of like Reaper and if you heal a Necro, it works out pretty well, right? And that's kind of continued from then, really, and it's only kind of amplified itself to a certain extent with the
then
Scourge
I think
Firebrand,
there was another way to play the game. Like I think even then there was like the possibility of playing just a rotational comp with a lot of duelers and +20. I think that was possible, but I mean I just don't think people tried it out. And even then, I mean, there was a lot of competition back then, I guess, but I mean, I think towards the end is when the competition ended, right? Because no tournaments were done by ArenaNet for like a year after that.
Well,
point.
there hasn't been a tournament done by NA in.
I mean, yeah, it's been a long time, but like at that point, it was like, okay, there was a year of silence, like complete silence, and people just faded off during that time.
Yeah.
After the last good tournament. I mean, that was a long while ago, but yeah, it's been like 2 years at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say a big part of it too is there haven't been as many teams that like formed and stayed together. I mean, 55 is really, I think, one of the only ones that still plays this game that has been a team for a really long time. And obviously, the roster change. I mean, Frosty's fairly new, Cookie's fairly new, but Misha, Suzanne, and Sind have been together for a while, and you don't really see that on as many other teams.
I played with Sind as well in the past, so
right. Yeah, I mean, you've obviously been around in the scene for a very long time, so you played those guys
around the players at least.
Yeah.
So
on multiple teams.
Okay.
All right.
So in that case, okay, let's be constructive, guys. I tell you what, let's be constructive. So there's not too many things that are completely irreplaceable. It's all right. So in order to play a different style, what classes should get buffs to encourage playing an additional style, a different way of playing?
I mean, obviously, I think it's important to focus on buffing classes that don't really see play at all in competitive. And what I said before about ArenaNet, in my opinion, like sort of buffing and focusing on ranked queues, I think they generally buff and balance around it, but they probably, as you sort of said before as well, they probably look at competitive play, so the monthly ATs, maybe even the UGOs. And it would make sense to look at those because those are obviously like the meta sort of comps that are being played at the competitive level. So again, stuff that just is never really played, but also I think having multiple options for the same sort of role is really important. And at the moment, there really isn't something that can replace Firebrand in as far as like a support role goes. There isn't really something that can replace Thief and maybe Mirage. As far as the sort of like a roamer class. And Mirage, I don't really think is as much of a roamer class as Thief either, because it usually, will side node, and obviously it has a lot of mobility, but you usually don't use it to rotate as much, I think. And again, I mean, Necro, there's really nothing other than Chrono that can replace Necro for team fights and stuff like that. So I think side nodes probably is the most variety in terms of roles, because you have Holosmith, you have Spellbreaker, you have Mirage, Druid to some extent. So I think definitely. So buff Tempest. Bring support Tempest back. I'd love to see support Tempest back in the meta.
I agree.
Renegade.
If you want a completely different way to play the game, like not playing the style of Tempest, then I feel like if you buff that way too much from this point,
what other roles can you really have in the game that aren't in the game now?
I don't mean that. I just mean like the chase type of play in the game. Like say Revenant became really good, and then Thief and Revenant would just chase everything down, and say they would burst down like a Firebrand really easily without being counter pressured too hard by a Scourge. Then those wouldn't really be viable anymore, right? People would start playing that instead. So I mean, I don't know if there's an easy way to buff it without it becoming way better than the current playstyle. And I'm fine with both playstyles. I don't mind. I actually like the chase playstyle more, but yeah. It's
okay.
Don't mind.
So okay, here's a question then. What makes Thief so thiefy then? Is it the combination of the extreme mobility and the burst? Is that why Thief is so very powerful? Steel, basically.
It's always had more mobility than any other class. Because of Shortbow 5 when Daredevil came out, obviously because of the dodges and swiftness on dodging. And Steel, it has multiple different ports. The Shadow Step, it has Infiltrator Signet. It's just always had way more mobility than any other class, really. And then it also has pretty high burst. It's very single target focused in regards to its damage, I'd say.
And when the SD Thief thing is not a thing in DP is, access to stealth, like pretty much on demand when you're not in a fight, is like really busted. I mean, obviously it's not used right now because SD Thief is really good at pressuring down Firebrand in a team fight, much better than DP. Even though, like, if a DP gets a good, well-timed backstab steal, that Firebrand is dead like 100% of the time. But I feel like SD Thief is currently like more reliable, more stable. But DP Thief, like, the stealth it's broken. If you know how to use it well, it's like you stealth up and they don't know where you're coming.
You'll see all the time, or you used to, when DP Thief was still around. Thieves, they'll go towards a node and then they'll get stopped by, another thief or some player, and then they'll stealth up and move. They'll basically just stay there, and the player will move off, and they'll get a really cheeky decap, and that sort of stealth play. And then obviously stealthing up other team players or teammates. I mean, you never really see stealth engages in competitive play. You used to always see stealth engages because you had DP Thief, and now you have SD. So that definitely is part of it as well. That's obviously not a unique class mechanic since other classes have stealth, but no other class really has the same access to stealth as Thief, of course.
Yeah, I mean, no other class can just like say stealth up like at middle off the node a little bit and stay in stealth for like 10 seconds and then just appear backstab steal on a side node plus winning a wonders one. I mean, that's just not a thing in any other class. It's a little bit like having Portal on Mesmer, but it's just a lot different. Yeah.
A little bit like having Portal, except a lot different.
It's the uniqueness of it is a little bit
the same,
like
but completely different.
Yeah, the unique. You get it. You get what I
mean. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Would you, if you were lead balance designer, would you address steal then?
Sorry, what did you say?
Do you address steal? Do you nerf steal? Do you
I don't think steal is necessarily broken. I think on SD Thief, the fact that you have like double steal is a bit broken. I don't think steal in and of itself is that broken.
Quadruple plasma.
Maybe nerf plasma. I mean, yeah, especially now that you have double items. I mean, some of the items are kind of trash, but some of the stolen items. But yeah. I wouldn't say steal in and of itself is broken.
Well, I do think it's still broken because it heals you, it does damage, it removes boons, it gives you initiative, or what? I don't remember if it gives you initiative. I just remember
built into that.
It gives you absolutely everything, and then like as a Mesmer going against Thief feels really bad. I mean, I get it. Thief's like the Mesmer counter, but it feels really bad. It feels really bad.
You just want no counters.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Just give us a Frosty spec that only Frosty can play, and it's just the most broken Mesmer in the world, and nothing can counter it. And then he'll be happy.
But, okay, I'll tell you why it feels bad. It's like, if they hit steal, you're completely countered. I mean, that's fine, but I want to be countered 100% of the time, or not at all. Because you can dodge steal. So
I don't really...
Well, SD Thief, it's really hard to, but that's like, again, if you dodge both of the steals...
So wait a second, you would rather an undodgeable steal?
Okay, I'm not saying that. I do not want that, but I'd rather take something that is not RNG, more or less, right? Well, I mean, it's not RNG. It's like really it's mind games, obviously.
Game.
It's dude. You got to mind game your opponent, man.
Frosty, I feel like you're disagreeing with yourself.
No. Look. I think it feels really good when you dodge the steal, and I think I'm fairly good at dodging steal. I think I'm fairly good at it.
Okay, yeah.
But it's just like I don't think it's a good mechanic. Like a lot of the meme is dodging steal is the highest level of counterplay, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, what? But here's the thing. What I would say to that is, obviously steal is pretty strong and very important for a thief, right? But I wouldn't say that if a thief misses the steal, it means there's literally no way he can win the 1v1. Or if the thief gets the steal, it means he automatically won the 1v1.
Well, it's almost like that. Almost.
Is it though?
Well, you have 2 steals on SD Thief. That's why.
But that's what I said before. I said that's probably broken. I said.
Yeah. But if it was only one steal, it was like when you were fighting as a Shatter Mesmer against DP Thief, like back when those two things, like Power Shatter, GS Shatter, if you actually dodge steal, you won, or he had to re-stealth forever until the next. If he didn't hit it, then he needed to do it again, or he died before he could wait for the next steal.
There's not really Shatter Mesmer anymore.
Yeah, but
the old Shatter Mesmer anymore. So I wouldn't necessarily. That's as relevant. Like.
Okay, well. But I mean, let's say then Condi Mesmer versus SD Thief, and let's just say SD Thief had 1 steal or something like that. The Condi Mesmer would absolutely win every time if he dodged that steal, unless the SD Thief.
So we
runs away.
should buff steal, is what you're saying.
No.
Yep.
Wait.
Okay,
Again,
That's exactly what he
Really,
said.
you keep
Yeah,
coming back
that's
to this,
what I'm talking
Frosty.
We should
No,
buff
No,
Thief.
I don't want steal.
But
I
what
want
you're
Thief
saying,
and
but
I
what
want
you're
a
saying
different-
is that you would rather Thief be like every other class, right? Like you'd rather it be like every other class, and then just you could beat it then.
I'm not saying I don't want any counters. I just want the counter to be something different than steal, because steal is not
Okay.
to have as a counter, right?
Like backstab.
That's I think a weak counter because it's really hard to hit, but something like that.
Like if all of the traits that buff steal instead buffed your stealth attack, would that be okay?
It would be bad. So no, just anything else but steal.
So
That's
would you? Let's see. Would you
It's a-
take?
it's a skill and it's a port? Okay,
Yeah.
that's the issue. That's the issue.
Would you take some of the steal power off the steals and maybe put them on stealth attacks or something? So like,
What I just said.
I wouldn't do anything because that would make it bad. I'm just saying it feels bad. Steal feels bad. That's it.
Okay.
Well, no.
I
Instead of
It's ridiculously hard.
yeah. Okay. Well, what I remember.
I think
is,
we've
like,
probably
suppose-
been stuck on
Oh,
steal
instead
for a
of-
little bit too
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
Let's
I
Let's,
think
let's,
that's
let's
fine.
move away from steel. Oh, dude,
Right.
Angels brings up an excellent point. The fucking res
Oh.
traits, dude. Holy shit! Like,
yeah.
the fucking resing in the. Well, actually,
Hey,
it's not that much.
shut
of
up. If you take away my bubble on res, I'm gonna quit this game. It's the best
Not
trait
as
in the
bad
game.
as it used to be.
No, like, honestly, when people were running
I love
blood
that trait.
when people were running blood necro, it was way worse. Turns out blood necro is not really that good.
I think Wild Blood's pretty good.
good.
On Reaper.
Yeah, I don't know. Like people
Oh,
ran.
no, I mean, I don't mean the not the
people
heal,
ran
I mean
like the
fast.
people ran the blood necro thing for a while, but I think it was a bit of a fad. It was a bit of a meme that I don't even know why it caught on. I don't think
you still run it in solo queue.
It's
just,
strong.
the
I
first
don't
skill is
know.
much better in. No, I've seen people run it in solo queue still.
Yeah, I don't think-
you just don't see it in competitive play. I mean, you never really saw it in competitive play.
I don't think it
Not
was
not really.
that good.
Not even when it was more popular. But I think it's still used a bit in solo queue for sure.
Mm. So I don't know the res traits are kind of annoying, but they're not that bad. I don't think the Guardian one is pretty obnoxious, but you just have to play around it, I guess.
I'm
But-
wondering if that's a way Tempest could get into the game a little bit more.
The Ellie res trait is nasty, man. Like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What the guys
we
are
want
using?
another
Yeah.
blood necro though.
Guys are
I don't, but I don't want that.
You take
But-
you take the blood res and the geyser, dude, and then you play staff heal Ellie and insta res your team.
Yeah, but like if you're playing Staff Ellie, I mean, I honestly, if you're taking
Exactly.
Staff Ellie for the
Exactly.
geyser, I don't really have a problem with that. Staff Ellie,
But if you don't do
I've
Staff
done
Ellie,
it.
like,
I've done
listen.
it plenty. It's fun. It's fun.
sure,
Yeah.
but
If you
I
don't
mean,
do
like,
Staff
you're never
Ellie-
gonna see Staff Ellie in competitive.
No,
No, no.
No one in
But I
their
could
right
see-
mind would run
Yeah.
Staff Ellie.
Dude, Valen
could
did it.
see-
Valen played staff Ellie, man.
Yeah,
I
and
could
how
see
far did he
Sword
get?
Dagger Weaver become a thing as a tank. If not, right now it can't do it. But if it got buffed, I could see it become a self-sustaining tank that brought a lot of res traits, survive fights, and res people up. But it can't do it right now, I don't think.
Well, you don't
Because
have
you
I
could
mean,
also-
you can't. I mean, you can't really just have a tank that does nothing in a team fight because
Yeah.
they'll just ignore it.
Well, that's
So-
it. So they don't have
It
to be
has to do
attempted.
something. Has to do something like healing, right? That's why you have to play.
I
heal
mean,
Ellie.
maybe
Yeah.
they could make the res so broken that they need to focus daily now.
Yeah.
But then
okay.
that would not be very fun, would
No,
it?
that would be
No.
stupid. No, that would be
Yeah,
that would be
not
silly.
very fun.
Just make a 5k res, insta res, full health, full boons, everything
Exactly. Yeah.
on Ellie.
Bring the res utility skill. There you go.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, you
go
see-
into all
Sig-
won't catch-
I don't really have a
Mercy
problem.
play.
To be honest with you, I actually really like more downstate play. So when you incorporate like banishes, when you incorporate res signets,
Yeah.
when you incorporate like MI and stuff, I don't really have a problem with that because first of all, you have poison to try and stop that kind of thing. Which makes it harder to res, and also I think if you're able to get a res, you should be able to get that res if people aren't able to cleave it or CC the person resing. And also it just brings like an extra sort of added level into the game, because if it was basically like you go into downstate, you're automatically out of the game until you respawn. I think that's just boring. I obviously, there's downstate for a reason. You have the chance to come back, and I also think that having a 90-second like res signet on Guardian, which has a pretty long cast time that you can interrupt, I don't think that's a problem either. I think it's a good thing. So I don't really think the res sort of stuff is bad.
Right now, it's not.
I think it's fine, really.
What do you think about Blood Necro? I'm just curious.
Well, yeah, but again, Blood Necro. If you're actually going to take Blood Necro, first of all, you're going to do a lot less damage. Like
I mean, I don't think I'm not talking about competitive play, like more solo queue.
General? No, I think it's fine. Well, again, I mean, solo queue. I think almost everything is technically like viable in solo queue. So it makes sense that Blood Magic would also be. And Naru wrote this in chat a little while ago. He was saying, transfusion coupled with Blood Magic, coupled with Well Blood, or coupled with the passive Well Blood and stuff. That's why it looks so strong. Plus, you can pull the player with transfusion. Yeah. So
I don't even think that it is so strong. It's just like, do you like the fact that they res so fast with the it's like you tap on the body and they will get res.
Well, I think that's an interesting way of doing it, because I think that they don't want Scourge. They wanted Scourge to be a different kind of support, and I think that is a different kind of support, right? So right. I think it has the barrier and it has the ability to pull people and res. So honestly, like I might get flamed for this, but if anything, they should make it a bit better in the way that they should make the barrier component of it a bit better, the actual support component of it better, and keep the res.
But then you have to tone down the damage of Scourge.
Yeah, that's why I would completely redesign how Big Shade works, such that it doesn't really do damage. It just supports instead, and you take Little Shade.
Again, I mean, all you have to do is CC whoever's rezzing. I mean, obviously, if you transfuse them and then drop the Well Blood, or the passive Well Blood is automatically dropped, it's a bit harder. But I mean, I don't think that's an instant res if they get CC'd as soon as they pull it, because I'm pretty sure you can't get the player up with just the Well Blood alone. But yeah, so all you have to do is CC and cleave, and if you have poison, which is there's poison, you have poison on most classes.
But that's why I think that maybe Ellie could find a place as rezzing with the utility skill, with some invulnerabilities.
You'd never take the utility skill, ever.
Hold on, are you talking about the glyph? The res glyph?
I am.
Too slow.
I think what feels most bad about
I don't think the glyph's necessarily that bad, to be honest, but I mean, that's the same thing as like Signet of Mercy and Guard, isn't it? Like, it's just...
It's slow. It's about nearly double the cast time.
Is it really?
Yeah. 3.5 seconds.
Is it really?
3.5 seconds, isn't it?
And you don't have the quickness.
Yeah.
I think...
no, it is worse for sure.
About Blood Necro, like, what feels most bad about it is that you can't counterplay alone, right? Like, there's nothing you can do to rupt a blood rush by yourself, because even if you rupt the person, you need to have insane cleaving while rupting.
That means
then you can say, then you can say, okay, somebody should be able to res while you're the only one.
And again, if you're 2v1 and you get someone down and they res, and you're not able to stop it, you're still 2v1, which means your team's going to have the advantage. They should have the advantage on the rest of the map. Obviously, solo queue memes, But I don't think that's an issue either. I don't think I don't think being disadvantaged in a 2v1 is a problem.
After that happens, they can't do that for another 35 seconds. So I don't think it's a big deal.
It's a pretty long cooldown.
Yeah.
And then there's the other thing. Say your team's not really focusing on the cleave, and they're not like noticing that this is happening very fast because say they're not so high rated. I'm
gonna quote a very, very famous Guild Wars 2 streamer and say get good.
It's a get good, man. Blood Necro is a learn to play issue in my opinion. I know
Blood Necro, like, it's only useful because of bad players.
If you get a downstate and then completely ignore it for the rest of the fight, it's like it should get res. That's on you. It's not on the Necro who's rezzing. I mean, come on. If
you can do all you want. You can rupt them all you want. You can try to cleave all you want. But as I said, alone you cannot rupt it. So you need your teammates to cooperate. And
it is a team game.
Then that trails to another problem, which is the fact that when you play a high rating, your teammates are gold. Okay.
Yeah.
That's, again, population.
So tell them to get good. We got to tell them to get good. Yeah. Frosty. As soon as you load into the game, you should immediately start flaming. Okay.
I think you just need a guild called Get Good.
Yeah.
you get good.
I think we just need the Angel's Guide, right? Eh?
Yeah, there you
Get
go.
all those goldies.
Angels making guides, please, dude. What's he gonna do? Yell at your teammates when they die? Pfft, nice guide, Angels. Okay. Maybe Valen should. Maybe Valen can collaborate on him, and his guide could be fall asleep through monthly ATs. Okay, sick idea. Frosty.
All right,
Yeah.
where are the Angels emotes in the chat? Can we have some Angels emotes?
I mean, there's angels. I mean, are there any angel subs?
It's gonna be a while.
Gonna take a little while. Wow, that's ouch. Roy really went hard there, man.
Angels.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ouch.
There we go.
Ouch.
There we
Frosty's
go.
right, guys. Stop 2v1ing him. Yeah, Frost, please.
No, yeah, I no, I'm with Frosty, man. I'm not a 2v1 on him. I think he's right. It's just he said it, dude. Like Blood Necro is good because people fucking suck at the game. I
mean, blood necro is worse than curses. I mean, it's just that's straight up. So if you're losing to a blood necro,
you're
well,
fucking trash.
you know.
You're trash, kid.
Well, okay. Hold on.
Okay, good.
Whoa. Hold on.
Stop playing Dragon Hunter, right?
If you allow the necro to get a transfuse, you're automatic garbage, and you should quit the game according to TeaTime.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Exposed.
I agree.
Okay.
I
Quote,
agree.
boys.
I completely agree.
Same thing goes with Daredevil Judgment. Deadeye Judgment.
Deadeye Judgment.
Okay. You know what, man?
Do we have anything else? Do we have anything else to talk about about PvP? Anyone want to talk about PvP? Have we done all? We covered all the PvP. There's a tournament coming up. Okay, Roy, I tell you what.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you show the tournament for us? Let's go.
All right.
Because we're trying to bring back esports, man. We did the monthly AT. We got the Yugos back, and we got $2,000 prize pool, boys.
Back. Yes, exactly. Yugo's back. Yugo is. I'd say. I mean, honestly, I think the NA UGO is probably the best UGO we've had. I really think it was really fun. We had 1,000 viewers pretty much the whole time, and I think the matches were really competitive. And I mean, just the casting felt good too. And the EU UGO is not as good, but you know, so the UGO's back. Obviously, monthly ATs I think have been getting more viewers. There's a lot more people streaming them, like Jodges, Jebro, Wooden Potatoes, casting them and stuff like that, and making more of a narrative out of those. So you know that's good. And then we've got this tournament, the Miss Challengers tournament, is May 5th. So that's Saturday. It's a week from yesterday. That's going to be coming up. I am running that, and Wooden Potatoes is streaming that and casting with me.
Nice.
And there's two sort of pretty cool things to go along with that. One is that we've got a $2,000 cash prize pool, which is I think
Whoa!
most of any.
What did he say? What was that?
$2,000.
2000. That's right. That is obviously going to be split between the top three teams. So 1250, 1,250 for first, 500 for second, and 250 for third. And yeah, it's the most I think that we've had for any community-run tournament. I'm pretty sure. We're also fourth place gets 2,000 gems each, and then everyone else gets gold. And then the other sort of cool thing about the tournament is it's split into two separate brackets. So the first bracket is going to be pretty much anyone who signs up that isn't sort of pro teams. So we're going to pick 6 teams from everyone who signs up, and they're not allowed to participate in the first bracket, just because we wanted to try and make more people sort of comfortable playing, encourage more like newer players and people who are more inexperienced with PvP to play. And then the second bracket is obviously going to be the top 6 teams plus the first and second place teams from that first bracket. And they're the ones who are going to be playing for the cash. So yeah, it should be pretty cool. I'm really excited. Waste of money? Not at all. It's not a waste of money at all because we like PvP. You know, you're more than welcome to not watch it. I have no issue if WaveMix PT has absolutely nothing to do with the tournament. That's fine by me. But I think that it just goes to show that even after almost 6 years, the community still is interested in PvP, and there's still people that want to support it, and still people that want to play and cast and support the scene and stuff. So, you know, that's nice. Mm-hmm. And oh yes, now there's an Eternity giveaway. We'll be giving away an Eternity on stream, which is pretty
worth
cool.
more
So
than the prize pool.
You want to get in there and farm that shit,
no, not if you not no, it's not.
Not in real money.
Win the giveaway, guys.
Not for first place, but only one person gets the Eternity. Not every player, anyways.
All right, you can't split that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you technically could, but then it would be worth less. Anyways, the point is, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Me and Wooden Potatoes we've been discussing a lot of different ways to sort of cast and stream the tournament as well. Like, we're trying some different stuff. I don't know if anyone has seen any of his daily AT casts. If not, you should definitely go check it out. But he's done some really cool stuff with overlays, with his camera work and stuff, and we're going to be trying to incorporate that into the tournament. So that should be a really cool sort of thing there. And obviously, the very hype. You know, we're going to see Rank 55, I hope, come over again to play the strongest in 18.
But hold on a second, though. You said no Chrono, right?
Chrono.
Shit.
No Chrono.
So what does that mean for you, Frosty?
Frosty can't play anything but Chrono.
It's not looking good.
We'll adapt. We'll adapt.
We're going to see the Renegade plays coming out from Frosty.
Yeah.
Wooden Potato is casting.
He is casting now. I mean,
it's me and Wooden Potato's casting. Unless you're talking about the UG show.
Are we going to see replays and camera and stuff?
Yes.
Picture in picture?
I'm pretty sure we're planning to use replays. Also, something that I'm really excited about is we're going to institute map bans into the finals.
Yeah, of course.
Which I think is going to be really cool. So each team in the finals is going to be able to ban a map that they don't want to play on.
Okay.
And I don't think anyone's ever done that before in any PvP tournament. So that's I think that should be kind of interesting.
So you can ban like one map, or
I mean, it's the signups are open. Signups are going to close this Friday. If you sign up, you come, you play, you get gold, even if you lose first round.
Holy shit!
We haven't completely settled on the amount per team yet because we're still getting donations for gold. And so once and also we need to know how many teams are playing, because if it's 32 teams as opposed to 16, obviously there's going to be a bit of a difference there. But yeah, you'll get gold just for playing. It's it's basically like an AT.
Do you want to play the trailer, Roy? Do you want to play the trailer on the stream?
I figured if you want to play it at the end, or I mean, unless we're done now. But yeah, well, I think you should play it on stream.
We can play it now. We can play it at the end. I don't mind. But we can do. I don't even know.
Whatever, your choice, dude.
Fine.
You're the cinematic professional.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you what, boys. Tell you what, we'll play it at the end then. I feel like that makes more sense.
Okay.
I feel like that makes some sense to play it at the end.
But if anyone has any questions at the tournament, definitely ask. There's a Discord as well. Yeah, sure.
How much gold do you make just for playing?
Well, like I said, we haven't settled on an amount yet. Just because I'm getting donations from the community. And I also need to see how many people actually sign up, because if I say right now every single player gets 50 gold, and then
who wants to be on my team? I'm joining.
I'm gonna be broke.
Wow.
You know, so what I want to aim for is if we can get rewards similar to the monthly AT. But again, that depends on how many teams sign up, because if we get 32 teams and then I've said 50 gold or 25 gold or whatever per player, I mean, it's a lot of gold. Like it's more than you'd think. So we have to see how many people sign up. And yes, if Pancake Thief, if you want to donate, I'll put my account name. I'll link the Battlefy page. It has all the rules and everything, and it has where you can donate and stuff. And yeah, that's that.
Sounds
but
really
yeah, if you have any questions, ask away. I'm more than happy to answer whatever.
How do I sign up?
How do you sign up? I'm linking signups in chat right there.
Done.
You know what else?
Oh, it's on a name, by the way.
You know what else happens, boys? Okay.
What?
There was a stream where the ArenaNet devs said that alliances are nowhere near. Nowhere near. There was So there was a stream. They were playing World vs. World. They were running around capturing things, and one of the devs said alliances are not coming anytime soon.
Feels bad, man.
Seeing as we're done with PvP, we're talking about World vs. World.
Maybe he just meant a week, okay? Maybe he meant it's in 2 weeks, okay?
That's right. Soon TM.
I'm not giving up hope, man.
Honestly, I am so disappointed. I cannot even... I don't know why I'm disappointed. Like we talked about this a little bit on the stream, right? Like, where are our Swiss tournaments, by the way? Where's our fucking best of 3 for the monthly AT finals? Like, where's that? You know, how long has that been, man? Seriously. Has it been like 6 months since I said they would do that? I don't even know, dude. But I don't know. That was basically since the inception of ATs that hasn't happened yet. And now it turns out that alliances probably aren't going to come for, I don't fucking know, like probably next year or some bullshit. And honestly, that is... ArenaNet, man. That's so, I don't know. That hurts. That really
Anytime
hurts.
soon, though. Anytime soon. That could mean a lot of things. That doesn't mean 2019. That doesn't mean it probably means not this month or next month or the month after that or the month after that.
I was expecting like towards the end of this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I was
I
expecting
guess
summer, man. I was expecting
A
summer.
lot of people were hoping summer. Just because
Yeah,
they
it's
announced
just, but I don't think that's happening, man.
February or
No.
January or something
Summer's
like
not
that.
happening. No way.
No, it's
No,
not
summer's
happening.
not
Yeah.
happening.
I mean, if it came like in September, I think I'd be okay with it. But if it's after September, I think that's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think the other really big thing is not just that it's taking so long for alliances, that there hasn't really been any other changes to World of This World since then. I mean, nothing really that big. So certainly nothing that really comes to mind.
The hope of something doesn't keep you going.
But why would they do that, dude? I mean, why would
Well, they said when they announced alliances that they were going to keep resources going for other stuff. They weren't going to focus 100% of their resources on the alliances, which implies that there'd be stuff coming out in between the announcement and the alliance rollout. But again, there hasn't really been anything.
And all they need to do is just nerf Siege a bit. I think World War is pretty good right now, and maybe balance it a bit.
Let's
Fine.
think about it though, guys. So if it's not coming this summer, maybe this fall if we're lucky. In the mind of ArenaNet, when would be the best time to bring out alliances? Would it be before?
As soon as possible.
Would it be before a new expansion, or would it be for a new expansion?
No, they shouldn't bring it out because they've said that they're not gonna cater like World vs. World and PvP rollouts to expansion.
Yeah, you're right. They're not going to.
They said they're going to be releasing.
It's a feature for the whole game. Yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense for them to wait. And again, I mean, it doesn't make sense for them to wait at all. If they have it ready, they should just roll it out. Like they should roll it out tomorrow if it's ready, because
I doubt it's ready.
I know, obviously, but the sooner they get this stuff out, the better. You know.
I was so excited, man.
There's no advantage. For
honestly,
there was so much hype.
Yeah.
There was more hype, I think, from the World vs. World community than there's been in 4 years for anything when they announced Alliance.
Killed it.
And there was even hype for like the month following, and maybe even the month following that, and then there's been no news on it.
Yeah.
And
again,
and then we hear that
this is like
I don't want to. We didn't get a date. Like I know what you're talking about is
a big problem is, I don't know, it's like trademark ArenaNet, right? Like we have no information, we have no communication whatsoever, right? We don't know what's happening with alliances at all.
He said it's in progress.
Yeah, he's talking to us right now. ArenaNet Ben, he's in chat, and obviously
he's a boy. He's a boy.
He's a lad. You know, he's a lad.
ArenaNet Ben is God.
But I was really excited for Alliance. I still am, obviously, right? But where are my memes? Where are my alliances, dude?
It's just what it really means, I think, is that there's just going to be more sort of dead time in World vs. World between now and alliances, because I think that the people who will be playing World vs. World for alliances will still play it, even if it comes out in 6 months or it comes out in 3 months. But it also means that I think more and more people are just not going to, they're going to stop not playing World vs. World, because, I took a pretty long break from World vs. World. I'm only going to get back into it now. TeaPot, obviously, you stopped playing for a while, and tons of people have. I mean, there's still population, but it's going to keep decreasing as time goes on until
here we go. Look, guys, if you want to talk to ArenaNet, the only way is to apparently do it through Twitch chat. There is progress being made, enough that it already has bugs.
Hey, that's good. And
that's
fixed.
Pretty good.
Mention the fixed bugs.
Ben, listen, Ben P, save us, please. Save us.
Ben P and ArenaNet Raymond are literally the saviors of this community, man.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
It's still very early.
I gotta be honest, though.
Obviously, listen, guys, I really do not flame ArenaNet, okay? Especially the developers, but it does sadden me to hear that. It's something I am really excited for alliances. Especially when it was, I really thought it would be coming relatively soon, but that is unfortunately not going to be the case, and that does make me sad. But it's okay. Also, I'm still excited, man. I'm still very excited.
Think
boys.
about the good sides though. Since it's taking so long, we're gonna have all these wonderful features. Like it's gonna be feature packed, and we're gonna have a wonderful, top tier quality.
Zero bugs. It's gonna be amazing.
Bugs are okay as long as there's a lot of stuff to do, right?
Exactly.
That's
we want
right,
content.
yeah.
As long as we have content.
Yeah.
But we're waiting for the good things, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
no
kind of
rushed out alliances. Yeah?
And the sad thing is that we're kind of in a drought everywhere really right now. It's been a while since we've had some fractals or raids.
When was the last raid? Yeah.
Raid,
I'd get hyped about a new raid coming out.
Dude, I get hyped about anything. I get hyped about anything, man. I think pretty much everyone's here relatively PvX, right? I think everyone here plays pretty much a bunch of stuff. So I mean, it's just content, right? But the real concern is Alliances going to fix everything? Probably not. Alliances will fix things.
No one ever said Alliances are going to fix everything. It's just going to be better than what we have now. And it's content. It's content.
It will fix it as long as the community goes with it. Actually,
right?
Yes.
Honestly, while I don't know, a huge problem with this game is honestly the community. Like ArenaNet has given us like the delicious. But we are the cat, okay. ArenaNet has given us the delicious bowl of cream, okay? But honestly, like
I don't think cream is very good for cats.
A lot of the time, the community just shits in it, dude. That's just the reality of it. I mean,
actually, that's
especially
a good point.
the World versus World community, by the way.
One thing to help.
Hold on. Wait, I gotta stop you. I'm sorry, Boots. I gotta stop you. What thing that Arena gave us in World vs. World that was good did we shit on?
The game as it stands now is really good.
Okay.
I have often heard you shitting on World vs. World aspects of it, even if they're okay.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you that the community is to blame as well, but like, oh no, we weren't happy about Golem Week. Huh, I wonder why. Oh no, we weren't happy about deployable cannons. Huh, I wonder why.
Yeah, also the upcoming bonus XP week is gonna really sting as well, dude. Oh my god.
No. I actually don't care about the weekend thing, like the double XP weekend, the downstate.
Wait, the downstate thing. That sounded interesting.
I think it's gonna be a fun little weekend event. Like some people will be annoyed by it, but like who cares? They can get over themselves. It's 2 days. That's fine. I don't mind them doing that as long as they're not doing it permanently.
No downstate.
Let's make sure that's really clear. Please don't institute no downstate in World vs. World permanently. If it's for a weekend, fine. That's going to be like a fun little weekend to fuck around with and
they're testing the waters. If there's no community backlash, they're gonna put that off.
No, wrong.
Okay, hold on a second though. Ben's in chat apparently, or at least watching. And we just said that the best way for the new alliances when they come out eventually, not necessarily soon, but eventually, is the only way they're going to improve the game is if the community latches onto it and it embraces it and goes with it.
Right.
Right? So now the thing is, though, I think we talked about this a few episodes ago. There is something that could help move that process along smoothly if everything's being turned into guilds and alliances for World vs. World, and that's making guilds more accessible to the common player.
What?
So
right-click guild invite.
Hold on, no. Yeah, there are on almost every server that has any form of organization, there's a community guild and there's a community forum or Discord. And it's very easy to find it, it's very accessible, and it's not hard to join it at all. And 100%.
But it's all outside a game.
Yeah, and there'll be community, well, or in game if it's a community guild, but there'll be communities that come about and have already started coming about and already exist in some ways when alliances roll out that will be very easy to join, and yes, like obviously the community needs to put in a lot of effort to make alliances work, but
it will happen. I know it will happen. There's going to be a bunch of people doing that. There's going to be a bunch of people doing that, but I think that one way that ArenaNet could help,
do like the LFG thing,
have a looking for guild kind of deal going on, and it would definitely help.
One in Guild Wars 1? I feel like there was something like that in Guild Wars 1, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I forget.
I can't recall. But something that would be pretty good, especially considering they're going to be, as you say, they're going to be basing the entire game mode around it at that point.
Exactly.
But something like that could be pretty good anyway, right? For the other game modes as well. it does confuse me how people can struggle to look for a guild. But I think I don't know, as sad and mildly condescending as this will sound, like most of the people in this community are so inactive and not just not proactive.
Not proactive. Yeah.
It's just they're just you know, gimme. They just hand it to me, please. You know, they're much like World of Warcraft Legion players. Okay, you know, they want everything handed to them.
Yeah, I would definitely not fault ArenaNet 100% for World vs. World. That's fair. The community is definitely part of it.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like content-wise they have been getting quite little, but I mean, that's just one thing that they've been complaining about, right? So, yeah.
Squads created elitism and class discrimination. Alliances will take that to a new level if they don't balance and make every class viable. Well, just I don't know, dude. Like
what?
What? I mean,
what?
What do you mean? I'm sorry, dude. Like,
squads and alliances have no relevance on class balance.
No, he's saying no. He's saying
like they're gonna be kicked out of.
Yeah. He's saying you get kicked for playing ranger and shit.
Competitive mode. Like,
I don't see that as a problem, right?
If something is worse than something else, I mean, I guess.
And if you don't like it, make your own squad, right? I don't know.
Hey, another reason to put that looking for guild into the game, so you could join a guild that does World vs. World and be with them, and they don't care that you play Ranger or anything like that.
If you want to play a squad of like only Soul Beasts and get flattened by people playing good classes, then I mean, yeah, sure, go ahead, right? But good luck with that. Yeah, I don't think
you can play World vs. World pretty much however you want.
And you can still follow them. You can still follow them.
It also means that if someone wants to play a different way than you, i.e. meta, then you know they should have the right to do that. If I tag up, if I take the time out of my day to tag up, and obviously I'm still playing a video game, but you know tagging up and commanding isn't like necessarily the easiest thing in the world. Then I have every right to have whoever I want in my squad. And I have every right to... First of all, when I tag up, I never tell people they have to play a specific thing. But yes, Firebrands and Scourges and Revenants and Warriors are much better than Rangers and Engineers and, to an extent, Mesmers. So, you know, I'm going to kick people from my squad if it makes my squad better, assuming we're full. You know, that's just how it is. And there are people who will let you play with them if you're on a Ranger, and there are people who won't. It's about finding the people who will let you do it.
And it's not that hard to see if you're in a squad that's kicking people. It's not that hard to see that blob of people and just follow them anyway. It's
yeah, exactly. There's literally no advantage to having a Ranger in the squad because a Ranger should be on longbow and basically just pew-pewing from 1500 range. And so why do you need to be in the squad in the first place? I mean, I don't let Elementalists in the squad, but I still think Elementalists, Staff Weavers, are very good in World vs. World, and they don't need to be in the squad. It's like, you know, and so why would a Ranger need to be in the squad either? It's basically the same thing. You can follow a tag, you can get on comms and stuff and still participate and still play. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. If there's a commander who says that you're not allowed to get on comms because you're playing a Ranger, or you're not allowed to be in World vs. World because you're playing a Ranger, they're wrong. If they're saying you're not allowed to be in his squad because you're playing a Ranger, then they're not really wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, they should buff them, definitely, right? They should buff the medium classes in particular, right? Although Thief is actually very good right now.
Is anything else but Ranger bad?
Holosmith.
Yeah. Engineer really... But here's the thing, and again, I say this about basically the same thing that I say with ranked queues. Technically, everything is viable in some way. The problem with World vs. World specifically regarding like Rangers and Engineers and stuff, no one really plays them correctly. So like you'll see Rangers who like run in with the melee tag, which they shouldn't do. They should be on longbow, so like focusing, you know, squishy classes who are off tag and stuff. And honestly, I think that works pretty well. Obviously, there's a lot of projectile denial, which sort of counters Ranger longbow, but it's not to the extent that it makes it completely, you know, unusable or irrelevant. So if you're playing it well, then I don't think there's anything wrong with playing a Ranger. I don't have a problem with a couple Thieves, a couple Rangers, a couple Engies in my squad or following my tag or something. And I think most commanders will probably say the same thing. Again, if a commander's not saying that, then there's something wrong with them, not you. And you can just ignore them and continue doing whatever you want. But you're not going to be as there's no point to have you in the squad. And yes, there's stuff that is better than you playing a ranger or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
So,
oh yeah, I think kind of the long and short. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they should buff the medium classes, particularly Hollow and Ranger, to have some kind of Zerg build. I think Soul Beast has potential. I don't know, some kind of weird NG build could work, I guess. Maybe if the meta became more melee orientated, people started playing melee more. Hollow could be good potentially, but it's just not. I don't know. Other classes do it better. Also, ArenaNet, hook us up, please. Give us alliances. Also, give us content. Give us raids. You know, it was not so long ago that.
Well, hold on. You were the one who was just criticizing World vs. World players for saying "gimme, gimme," and you literally just said "gimme, gimme" like 6 times in a row.
No.
All right.
Saying give it and like every feature just show it. Okay. Yeah.
Fuck you.
No, but I'm not gonna. The difference between me and World vs. World players is that I don't say, "Oh, woe is me. This game mode is trash." And then when I come into the game mode, I say, actually, you know what, Wolves is pretty good, actually. That's the difference. I don't go, woe is me, I don't make the situation seem worse than it is. Because I think it's pretty, I think all the gamers are pretty good, we just, need to have some more of them, That's the most important thing. Game's pretty good, guys. Guild Wars 2 is pretty good. I'm sad that it's not coming soon, obviously. I'm sad that there's no new raid, even though I was really hyped for new raids. I was like, oh my god, 2018 is the year of Guild Wars 2. It's the year of ArenaNet, because we heard that raids, we're going to do more raids more often. We're going to do more fractals. Alliances coming soon.
Hey, you know what, man?
We're going to fix PvP.
They're going to release 2 raid wings at once, dude. Just wait.
PvP's kind of fixed. It's just, man, dude.
So there's going to be a new patch eventually, right? Like in a few weeks, there should be the next PvE patch. You don't think there's going to be a raid with that?
I think there'll be probably a fractal. I think we probably see an announcement. I think we probably see some kind of announcement Tuesday.
Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate that it's May pretty much, and we haven't really, other than Wing 5, and I guess. Has there been a new fractal since Path of Fire? There was, right?
Yeah, Twilight Oasis, but that was before.
And that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That was during the big release.
And I guess
that was a triple release. Yeah, they did a triple
release.
There's
then two new living stories or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, what has there been really?
It's slow going, but it's on schedule, but it's slow going.
Well, is it though? Because again, like TeaTime said, they said they were going to be the Swiss tournaments, the alliances. They said they were going to be increasing.
No, but the alliances, when they announced the alliances, they said.
I know they said there wasn't. Yeah, okay, but it's been months.
Yeah, but they only announced it like what 3 months ago or something like that. And when they said it's months off, I never assumed it was going to be it's 4 months off.
Yeah, again, I'm not saying that I didn't exactly expect this. I'm just saying, in my opinion.
I would like a little more information on the timeline for sure. Yeah,
just because they haven't surprised us, that doesn't make it a good thing. Like if our expectations were low to begin with, like
it would be very nice if we got a little more information on the timeline.
Yeah. Communication is, yeah. I mean, communication is always a bit tricky, right? With the ArenaNet, you got Twitch chat's the best way to go about it. But
you say that and you're not really wrong.
I know I'm not wrong. But I have confidence. Hopefully they can bring it back and get some juicy content coming up soon, boys.
Actually, that's a good point.
Because as we've discovered, guys, PvP is fine. It's fine. We just talked about it earlier on the stream. It's fine.
Don't even have to nerf Chrono.
Don't even have to nerf anything. It's fine.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Oh, also, another thing about PvP, we need like something to change these problematic things quicker. Like I'm not gonna say. You should do
more of a direct line of communication. Is that what you?
Oh no! Like say Chrono. Okay, you can say it's powerful now, right? You can say it's powerful, but even before people discovered it's powerful, people discovered you can't even see your character when you're near one. That is something that should be hotfixed, right?
Yeah, this kind of balancing is really important. Well, obviously, more frequent balance in general is really big, and I think honestly, they just need to like slam it down. Like the seasons are pretty long, right? They just need to literally just say, "All right, bitches, we're doing a mid-season patch." And if you're gonna cry about it, fuck off.
They did.
Right?
Even they did patch mid-season, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, right?
Yeah,
but
they said they were not gonna do it, but they did it anyway. So what's the point? Just do mid-season.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Do mid-season.
The more balancing, the better, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yes. The more things, the better.
Balance patch every day.
No, well, not every day. But not only does it keep it fresh, right? It keeps it fresh, but it also prevents stuff from being obnoxious for too long, right? And stuff you can, if you can be more agile with doing this, it's going to make the game more exciting, right? The
whole hotfix thing with Chrono was really good, right? Because it became obvious that it was an issue, and I'd say within a week they had that hotfix out, right? The problem was that it didn't really nerf it, and now it's been over a week since the hotfix, or almost a week since the hotfix, and we don't know when the next balance patch is coming out. We don't know if they're going to nerf it again, and it needs to be nerfed still. So the idea of the hotfix was very good, but the actual hotfix itself wasn't really great. And obviously, we need more stuff like that. So it's I guess I'm saying it's good and bad, but
yeah, I think that was just like that's what they had tested. That works, right? That's not a bad change to do like this question.
Yeah, those hotfix things, hotfixes are good. I think hotfixes are good. Yeah. It's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was a better thing than nothing, right? At least, not just because it was a hotfix, but also it made it go towards a better direction.
Yeah. And here are the real memes, right? Then you've got to extend this over to the other game modes as well. Like, I mean, obviously you can't really call it a hotfix at this point, but
No, who cares about PvE? Just fix wordless PvP. Thanks.
Well, but yeah, I was actually going to mention Wordless as well, not PvE actually, but stuff like Hammer Ev is still there, still going strong. Necro is much more of a problem in Wordless as well than PvP, I would say. Live balance scaling.
Ben just wrote live balance scaling. Each time his skill is used,
oh,
it gets nerfed slightly until it has
that's good. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, exactly. So that means everyone, the ebb and flow of balance, man. Everything will become Chrono will become awful and just do nothing, and then everyone else will start playing something else. Then it will just keep,
Is that individual character-wise? Is that for individual player, or is it globally? So, like, every time a skill is used, it gets nerfed slightly for everybody. So you have to tell your friend, please stop using this skill. I really want to use it in a while, and it has to still be good. Or is it just for yourself? I like it, though.
It's for everyone.
Oh, amazing. Can they code that? I want that, actually.
They should not do that.
I want that so badly.
Yeah, I don't think so, Boots, because literally all of your builds would be good, and nothing else.
Yes, that's the thing. You start playing Dagger
Boots,
again.
Boots would be rank 1 every season.
Rank 1 the legend
every season. Can you imagine a world where that exists? I don't know.
Oh,
I'll tell you what. I think the circle is complete, my friends. There's not too much thought.
I feel like we made more of a triangle than a circle, but sure.
Okay, we've completed the triangle. It is now time.
A triangle on your shirt.
It's a good triangle as well. It is now time for us to conclude our very intense tea time. Honestly, this was almost like a debate time. We were basically flaming each other the entire time, actually. That was good.
I've never fought anyone in my life. I love
honestly, I was hoping Boots would moderate, but no, he just sat there and enjoyed watching us flame each other. It was good.
It wasn't too bad, actually. You guys were very
civil,
very nice to each other.
Yeah.
Except for when it came to World versus World.
Yeah.
That's okay, though.
We're very toxic. That's the thing. Honestly, these are some of the most toxic players. Obviously, Frosty is not only a traitor, also a cheater.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right? He betrayed us and DDoS's Valen as well. I mean, this guy is just a disgrace. Roy, obviously very toxic.
Okay.
Yeah, Roy, very toxic as well.
He drugged Valen. So
he gave him sleep medication so he just could never wake up. Put him into a coma, dude. Okay?
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Frosty's ruthless.
Exactly.
And I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not toxic, dude. When have I ever been toxic in my life? Right?
You're always
shut
toxic.
Up.
Whoa!
I'm not toxic.
Right.
I recall you saying "fuck you" somewhere during this TeaTime too.
That's right. That's when I thought I saw
somebody.
Yeah, right. And Boots is the only one who
almost
isn't
had to step in
toxic.
there.
Boots is the only one who isn't toxic here, guys. I'm just gonna say it. But yeah, honestly, we're all pillars of the community, guys. I'm linking all the social. I'm linking all the shit. Okay. Oh my god, it's wrong Roy. It's the wrong fucking Roy, boys. Oh my god, it's yeah, it's the wrong Roy. Oh well. Oops.
See, this is why I'm toxic.
I haven't even updated Roy. Feels
This is why I'm toxic. You don't care.
But anyway, let us commence the shilling, my friends. We must chill, and then right at the end, before we host, we're gonna play the Mist Challenges trailer. Ooh, it's exciting, isn't it? Be sure to stick around for that. But a new guest, okay, known as a dog crossed with a human face, best chrono in the world, way better than Misha, 1v1. It is Frostball. What do you do these days, man? What's going on? Tell us about your content. You have that, right? You have content?
My content? What do you mean content? Like what I do here in the Goers 2 world?
Yeah, I mean, in life, just in life.
Just on the stream in general.
Walk us through a normal day in the life of Frostball.
Okay, on the stream, like, I'd say at least every other day I'm streaming Goers 2 ranked for around 2 to 3 hours, and then I start getting annoyed at the queues, and I might swap game at that point. No, but seriously, I mean, I stream a lot of PvP. Right?
Could you tell us a little bit about the music played on your stream?
Oh, great point, actually. That is just,
I mean, assuming you even can call it music.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we can just play music on stream, right?
No.
Okay. I listen to a lot of very high-energy music.
Oh, yeah.
High-energy music. It's
wrestling as well.
Instruments are very, very like...
they're men. They're
flexible.
Yeah.
Yes. They range from men to small anime girls. Yeah.
Okay, I know what he's talking about now.
Yeah, yeah. Boots, if you haven't, it's Gachamuchi. It's Gachamuchi, Boots. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
Be sure to follow and subscribe to Frosty. At the end of the day, guys, he is a delusional elitist. The only good Twitch team, quality content. Okay. So yeah. Follow Frosty, and then, who do we have here? It's Roy, worst Guardian EU. No, who am I kidding? Best Guardian EU, whose only weakness is Deadeye. What are you up to these days, Roy?
Nothing. Frosty's music sucks, but he's a cool guy, and he's a great streamer. Go follow him and sub to him. And sub to TeaTime, sub to Boots. And there you go. Also, yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to say, for my part, sub to Roy. And go watch that tournament that he's about to put on.
Your bot just linked the wrong Twitch again, TeaTime.
Yeah, I know. I can't make it not do that. I can't make it not do that.
Yes, you can.
No, I mean,
command.
No, I can't. It's actually hard coded. There's nothing I can do about that.
I can just spam the link in the chat, right?
Yeah, we can fix it. Yeah, we can fix it.
Yes, go fuck Frosty. I agree.
There you go.
Go fuck Frosty.
Yes. Go follow him, sub to him, and fuck him. And there you go. No, I occasionally.
That's what you want to do, That's what we can do, Beat me 1, 2, 3.
Just not on stream. That's
you got be careful with that, guys. You might actually get banned from Guild Wars 2 if you say too much gachi in the game, and you'll end up like Angels banned for 24 hours.
Angels banned right before the monthly AT. Yep. They tried to take him out.
Very
just like
funny,
Frosty
actually.
took Vine out. Yeah. Before we get too crazy, no, I stream occasionally, but I don't stream that often, so don't sub to me. I'm useless and a piece of shit. TeaTime and Frosty are real quality streamers. They have good content. You should follow them and stream, sub to them. But yeah, I'm doing the Mist Challenges tournament for PvP May 5th. Check that out. Wooden Potatoes is going to be streaming that. It's twitch.tv/woodenpotatoes. And there you go.
Okay. And Boots, do you want to shill?
Sure, you guys know me. Bad builds, all that shit. Stuff that Frosty wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. And
bad builds multiple times. It's
have you really?
Good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
I enjoy it.
Then. Great. And that's it. But seriously, go check out that tournament that Roy's putting on. It's gonna be good.
Okay. In that case, the final thing you have to do is follow this stream, guys. Just hit the follow. If you really liked it, you can subscribe. Okay. It doesn't cost you that much money. You can do it for free if you got Twitch Prime. Okay. We need to
Wait,
do
what?
Are we doing this? Twitch Prime? You know what, guys? Thanks to our God Emperor Jeff Bezos. If you got Amazon Prime, guys, connect that shit up with Twitch. Get a free subscription once per month, guys.
Wait, when you say free, you don't mean like you don't pay for it.
You don't pay for it at all.
What?
I know.
And you still get access to custom emotes.
Yes.
And all the other content that being a paid subscriber allows you.
That's correct.
Are you serious?
It's amazing. It's insane.
Is this a tight ad?
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, there you go. Look, Jeeb 183D just did it, dude.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done it yet, actually. How do you?
I
How do you
can't
do it?
believe it. You got to connect it up, guys, with your Twitch
How
account.
did I not know this before?
I don't even know, dude. It's insane. Free subs, Javed. Also, Mango with a sub as well. There you go. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Follow everyone here, guys. Subscribe to everyone here. I'll make the bot post the wrong links again. But there you go. Be sure to, follow all this stuff. It's really good. And more importantly, guys, Delusional Elitist, if you want to see quality streamers for every single game mode, pretty much 24 hours a day, guys, click the link to Delusional Elitist below this. The best Guild Wars 2 stream team by far. The only one even worth considering. The Twitch team in general. Don't even bother watching anything else. And guys, we're about to watch a very exciting trailer for the Mist Challengers tournament. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys around. Follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Twitch Prime, easy sub, boys. And we'll see you guys later. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And enjoy the trailer. Be sure to check out the event when it actually happens.